Hey guys, tonight we are going back to a time when silence fell over the world, to the narrow, cobblestone streets of medieval Europe in the year 1348. It is a story of darkness, but also a story of quiet endurance. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see who's joining us from around the world. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. You are awake, but you do not open your eyes. Not yet. You lie still, deep in the heavy darkness of your timber-framed house. The air in the room is cold, and it feels thick. It smells of old wood, of tallow candles that have burned down to nubs, and of dried herbs. Rosemary, lavender, sage. Bundles of them hang from the ceiling beams above you, invisible in the dark, but their scent is powerful. They are drying there, slowly turning brittle. They are not there for cooking. They are there for protection, to keep the air, the bad air, the miasma, away from your lungs. Outside, the city is silent. Usually, at this hour, just before the dawn, you would hear the city waking up. You would hear the bakers stoking their ovens, the iron doors clanging shut. You would hear the heavy wooden wheels of carts rumbling over the cobblestones. You would hear the church bells calling the monks to matins. But today, there are no bells. The bells have stopped ringing. There are too many dead to ring for them all. If they rang for every soul, the bells would never stop. They would ring day and night, driving the living mad. So the city has decided to be silent. It is a heavy, suffocating silence. You pull the rough wool blanket up to your chin. You are warm underneath the heavy fabric, but you shiver. Every morning begins with the same ritual, the same terrifying check. You slide your hand, slowly, carefully, out from under the covers. You touch your neck. You press your fingers into the soft skin just below your ear. You are searching for a lump, a swelling, a bubo. It starts as a knot, hard and painful, like a stone under the skin. It can happen overnight. You can go to sleep healthy and wake up with the mark. You press and you wait. Nothing. The skin is smooth. You let out a breath, a long, slow sigh in the dark. You are safe. For now. For today. You slide your hand down to your armpit. You check there too. And then, the groin. Nothing. Just the warmth of your own body. You have survived the night. But now, you must survive the day. You sit up. The straw mattress rustles beneath you. It is old straw, and it smells faintly of dust. You swing your legs over the side of the bed, and your feet touch the cold wooden floorboards. The house is dark. The shutters are closed tight. They are always closed now. You do not want to let the air in. You do not want to look out. To look out is to see the carts. To look out is to see the doors painted with red crosses. To look out is to see neighbors, people you have known for years, walking in the middle of the street, avoiding the walls, avoiding the shadows, avoiding each other. You stand up and walk to the small table in the center of the room. There is a basin of water there, and a bottle of vinegar. The vinegar is sharp, acidic, biting. It stings your nose. You pour a little into your cupped hand and wash your face. You rub it behind your ears, on your wrists, on your neck. The doctors say it helps. They say the pestilence hates strong smells. So you smell like vinegar. You smell like a pickle, preserved in a jar. This is your armor. You get dressed. A linen tunic, a woolen overtunic, simple hose for your legs. You dress quickly. The air is damp. You are a merchant, a seller of cloth. Or at least, you were. Before the ships arrived from Genoa. Before the rats came ashore. Before the world ended. Now, there is no trade. The market square, usually a riot of color and noise, is empty. Grass is growing between the cobblestones. Goats wander freely through the stalls, bleating for owners who will never come back. There is no one to sell cloth to, and no one wants to buy. Cloth holds the sickness. People are afraid to touch anything that has touched a stranger. So your shop, downstairs, is barred. The heavy oak door is locked with iron bolts. Your inventory, bolts of fine wool from Flanders, silk from the east, sits in the dark, gathering dust. It is a fortune that is now worthless. Wealth has no meaning here. A gold coin cannot buy you a breath of clean air. A velvet robe cannot stop the swelling. You are not rich anymore. You are just alive. And that is the only currency that matters. You go to the hearth. There is a small fire, kept burning all night. You add a piece of wood. It crackles, sparks flying up into the soot-stained chimney. You do not cook a large breakfast. Supplies are low. The farmers, out in the countryside, are dying too. The harvest is rotting in the fields. There is no one to reap the wheat. There is no one to thresh the grain. So bread is scarce. You take a small piece of hard, dark bread from a cloth sack. It is stale. It is tough to chew. But you eat it. You dip it in a little watered-down wine. You eat standing up. You are listening again. Always listening. You hear a sound outside. Creak, creak, creak. It is the sound of ungreased axles. A cart. You know what it carries. You move to the window, to the shutter. You do not want to look, but you have to. It is a compulsion, a dark need to know, to see the face of the enemy. You peer through a crack in the wood. The street below is narrow, shadowed by the overhanging stories of the houses. It is grey and damp. A wooden cart is moving slowly down the center of the mud and stone street. A man pulls it. He wears a hood, pulled low over his face. He has a rag tied over his mouth and nose. The rag is stained. He does not look left or right. He does not call out, "Bring out your dead." There is no need to call. Everyone knows he is coming. The silence of the city acts as his herald. In the cart, there are shapes, wrapped in sheets, wrapped in rough blankets. Some are not wrapped at all. Fabric is scarce now, and the dead are many. You see a hand, pale and waxy, dangling over the side of the cart. It swings with the rhythm of the wheels. Creak, swing. Creak, swing. You recognize the ring on one of the fingers. A heavy band of copper. It is the baker, the man who made your bread just last week. He was a big man. loud, full of life. He used to sing while he kneaded the dough. Now, he is just weight. He is just cargo. You pull back from the shutter. You feel a cold sweat break out on your forehead. You touch your neck again, just to be sure. Still smooth. But the day has only just begun. And you have to go out. You have no water left in the barrel. You have to go to the well. And the well is the most dangerous place in the city. It is where people gather. It is where the breath of the sick mingles with the breath of the living. You take a deep breath, inhaling the scent of vinegar and dried sage from your clothes. You pick up your wooden bucket. You walk to the door. The heavy iron bolt is cold under your hand. It feels solid, safe. To slide it back is to break the seal of your sanctuary. You slide it back. Clack. The sound is loud in the quiet house. You open the door, just a crack. You look left. You look right. The street is empty. The cart has passed, disappearing around the bend toward the burial pits. You step out into the silence. The air outside is different. It smells of smoke. Bonfires are burning at the crossroads. The city council ordered them. They burn aromatic woods, pine, cedar, rosemary. They hope the smoke will purify the air. They hope the smoke will chase away the invisible poison. So the city smells like a church and a funeral pyre. But under the smoke, there is another smell. Sweet, sickening. The smell of decay. It comes from the houses with the red crosses painted on the doors. It comes from the drains. It comes from the unburied. You pull your tunic up over your nose. You walk quickly. You stay in the middle of the street. You do not walk near the walls. You do not want to be close to the windows. You do not want anyone to breathe on you from above. You see a dog. It is thin, its ribs showing through its fur. It is sniffing at a pile of refuse. You shout at it. Get away. The dog looks at you. Its eyes are dull. It runs away. People say the dogs carry the sickness. People say the cats carry it. So the city killed the cats. And now the rats are bolder. You see them scuttling in the gutters. Big, black, fearless. They watch you with beady eyes. You hate them, but you do not know, not really, that they are the enemy. You think it is the air. You think it is the alignment of the planets. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars. The astrologers said they met in the house of Aquarius 3 years ago. A bad omen, a sign of death. You keep walking. You keep your eyes down. And you pray that the wind does not blow toward you. You reach the square where the well stands. It used to be the heart of the neighborhood, a place of gossip, of laughter. Now, it is a place of suspicion. There are 2 other people there, a woman and an old man. They are standing far apart, 10 feet, maybe more. They do not speak. They do not look at each other. The woman is drawing water. The winch creaks loudly in the quiet square. Creak, clunk. She pulls the bucket up. She pours the water into her clay pitcher. Her hands are shaking. She spills a little, but she does not stop to wipe it up. She hurries away, clutching her pitcher to her chest like it is gold. She gives you a wide berth. She holds her breath as she passes you. Now, it is the old man's turn. He moves slowly. He leans on a stick. He is coughing. A wet, hacking, deep cough. You freeze. Every instinct in your body screams at you. Run. Get away. But you need water. You cannot live without it. So you stand there, rooted to the cobblestones, watching him. He spits on the ground. The spittle is dark. He wipes his mouth with his sleeve. He takes his water and shuffles away. He leaves his germs behind him, hanging in the damp morning air. Now, it is your turn. You walk to the well. You try not to breathe. You hook your bucket to the rope. You grasp the handle of the winch. The wood is smooth, worn down by thousands of hands. Hands that are now cold. Hands that are now buried in the great pits outside the walls. You wonder, who touched this handle before you? Was it the baker? Was it the priest? Was it the old man who just coughed? Is the sickness on the wood? Is it seeping into your skin? Right now, you pull your bucket up. The water is clear, cold. It looks pure. But is it? Is the poison in the water too? No one knows. You pour the water into your own pail. You splash some on your boots in your haste. You turn around. You want to go home. You want to be behind your heavy oak door. But you see something at the end of the street. A figure walking towards you. It is not a normal man. It is a nightmare made real. He is dressed in a long, heavy, waxed leather coat. It is black and shiny with grease. It goes all the way to his ankles. He wears thick leather gloves. He wears a wide-brimmed hat. And on his face, he wears a mask. A white, bird-like mask, with a long, curved beak. Glass goggles cover his eyes. He looks like a giant, terrifying crow, come to pick at the bones of the city. It is a doctor, a plague doctor. The beak is not for decoration. It is filled with herbs, thyme, balm, camphor, laudanum, rose petals, to filter the air, to keep the miasma, the bad smell, away from his nose. He believes the smell carries the death. He carries a long wooden stick. He uses it to poke the bodies, to lift the sheets of the sick, to keep people away. He does not touch anyone, not with his hands. He walks down the center of the street, tapping his stick on the stones. Tap, tap, tap. The sound echoes off the houses. He stops in front of a house. The door is painted with a red cross. Lord have mercy on us is scrawled in chalk above the lintel. Someone is still alive inside. Or maybe they were alive yesterday. The doctor knocks on the door with his stick. Thud, thud, thud. You do not wait to see who answers. You do not want to know. You hurry past him. You press yourself against the wall on the far side of the street. He turns his head. The glass eyes stare at you, blank, emotionless, like an insect. You shiver. You walk faster. The water sloshes in your bucket, wetting your leg. You turn the corner onto your street. You are almost safe. Just a few more steps to your door. But then, a window opens above you, and a voice calls out, "Help!" It is a voice you know. "Water, please, water." You look up. It is the widow, Mistress Miller. She lives alone in the house with the carved eaves. Her face is visible at the open window. It is grey. Her eyes are sunken, dark hollows in a pale mask. There is a dark swelling, visible on her neck. She sees your bucket. She sees the water sloshing over the rim. "Please," she rasps. "I am burning." You stop. You cannot help it. You know her. She bought wool from you for a winter cloak 3 years ago. She always paid on time. She gave you honey cakes at Christmas. She is a good woman. But now she is death. If you go to her door, if you give her water, you might die. If you breathe her air, you might die. If you touch the cup she drinks from, you will almost certainly die. You look at her. You look at the bucket in your hand. Your heart hammers against your ribs. Thud, thud, thud. This is what the sickness does. It does not just kill the body. It rots the soul. It kills kindness. It kills charity. It turns neighbors into enemies. It turns a cry for help into a threat. "I'm sorry," you whisper. The words feel like ash in your mouth. You don't know if she hears you. You look down at the muddy cobblestones. And you keep walking. You walk past her door. You hear her sobbing, softly, as you walk away. The sound cuts you. It hurts more than the vinegar stinging your skin. But you keep walking. You reach your door. You fumble with the latch. Your hands are shaking so badly, you almost drop the bucket. You get the door open. You slip inside. You slam it shut. You slide the heavy iron bolt, clack, back into place. You lean your back against the wood. You breathe. You are safe. Inside, you are a coward. But you are a living coward. And in 1348, that is the best anyone can hope for. You carry the water to the table. You wash your hands again. Vinegar, scrubbing, until your skin is red and raw. You sit down. The house is quiet again. But the silence is different now. It is filled with the memory of the widow's sobbing. It echoes in your mind. You try to push it away. You look at your shelves. The bolts of cloth, red wool, blue velvet, white linen. They are beautiful, soft, useless. You stand up and walk over to them. You run your hand over a bolt of crimson velvet. It was meant for a nobleman's doublet. It cost you 6 months of earnings. Now, the nobleman is likely dead, or fled to his country estate. The rats have gnawed at the corner of the fabric. You see the little pile of fluff. You don't even care. Let them have it. The rats own the city now. We are just living in their kingdom. You wander to the window again. The compulsion returns. You look out through the crack in the shutter. The street is empty again. The doctor is gone. The widow's window is closed. The sun is higher now. It is trying to burn through the grey mist. It casts long shadows. The shadows of the gargoyles on the church roof opposite stretch across the street. They look like demons reaching for the houses. Maybe they are. The priest said this is a punishment, a scourge from God, for our sins, for our greed, for our pride. You think of the price of the velvet. Was that greed? Is this your fault? The thought spirals in your head, round and round, like the wheel of the death cart. You need to do something, anything, to stop the thinking, to stop the listening. You decide to clean. It is a pointless task. The dust will return tomorrow. But it is movement. It is control. You take a rag. You dip it in vinegar, and you begin to wipe the table. Circular motions. Rub, rub, rub. You focus on the grain of the wood. You focus on the smell. You focus on being alive. This is the morning. Just the morning. You have hours yet to go. Hours of silence. Hours of waiting. Hours of wondering if the knot is forming under your skin. You scrub harder until the wood squeaks, until your arm aches. And outside, far away, you hear the faint, distant creak of another cart, coming back for another load. The day drags on. Time, usually measured by the ringing of bells, has lost its shape. The sun moves across the floorboards. Dust motes dance in the single, thin beam of light that cuts through the crack in the shutter. They swirl, chaotic and aimless, just like your thoughts. You stop scrubbing the table. The wood is clean. The smell of vinegar is overpowering now. It catches in the back of your throat. It makes your eyes water, but you do not open the window. The heat of the afternoon is building up inside the house. It is a stuffy, still heat. You feel sweat trickling down your back. Is it just the heat? Or is it the fever? You check your forehead. It feels cool. But the fear, it never truly leaves. It sits in your stomach, heavy and cold, fighting the heat of the room. You decide to eat again. Not because you are hungry, but because it is something to do. You find a piece of hard cheese. It has a rind as thick as leather. You cut a slice with a small knife. You chew slowly. It tastes of salt and dust. You drink the last of the watered wine. It is warm. You sit in your chair, staring at the empty fireplace. And then you hear it. A sound different from the carts, different from the sobbing. It is a low, rhythmic hum. It comes from the end of the street. It grows louder. It is chanting. Voices, many voices, singing in unison. A deep, mournful, Latin dirge. You know what this is. You have heard the rumors. You have heard that they were coming to the city. You go to the shutter again. You press your eye to the crack. The street is no longer empty. A procession is rounding the corner. They are walking 2 by 2. Men, dressed in white robes, stained with dirt. They carry crosses. They carry banners, embroidered with holy symbols. But it is not a normal church procession. These men are not priests. They are the flagellants, the brothers of the cross. They have come to save the city, or so they believe. They stop in front of your house. The chanting stops. A leader, a man with wild eyes, shouts a command. And then the horror begins. The men strip off their upper robes. Their backs are bare, scarred. They hold whips in their hands, leather thongs, knotted with iron spikes. The leader shouts again, and they strike. Thwack. 30 men, whipping themselves, in perfect unison. Thwack. The iron spikes dig into their flesh. Blood begins to flow. It runs down their backs, staining their white lower robes crimson. They do not cry out in pain. They begin to chant again, a hymn of penance. They believe that this is the only way. They believe that God is angry. They believe that the pestilence is a punishment for the sins of the world. And so, they take the punishment onto themselves. They bleed, so that the city might be spared. You watch them, transfixed. It is brutal. It is madness. And yet, part of you wonders, are they right? Is this the answer? Is your vinegar, and your locked door, and your cowardice useless? Does God demand blood? The rhythm of the whips, thwack, 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 echoes off the stone walls of the houses. It is a wet, heavy sound. Some of the neighbors have opened their shutters. They are watching too. Some are weeping. Some are throwing coins down to the men. Charity for the holy sufferers. The flagellants do not stop for the coins. They march on. Strike, chant, step, strike, chant, step. They move down the street, leaving a trail of blood droplets in the dust. The chanting fades. The sound of the whips grows distant. And then they are gone. The street is empty again. Silence rushes back in to fill the space. But it is a heavier silence now, stained by what you have seen. You turn away from the window. You feel sick. Your cheese sits unfinished on the table. You cannot eat. You feel trapped. Trapped between the death outside and the madness passing through. You look at your hands. They are clean, scrubbed with vinegar, but they feel dirty. Everything feels dirty. You need to do something. You need to distract yourself. You walk to the back of the room, to a large wooden chest. It contains your ledger, your book of accounts. You open it. The pages are crisp parchment, columns of numbers, dates, names. Sold to Master Thomas, 3 bolts of blue wool. Master Thomas is dead. Sold to the abbot, 10 yards of linen. The abbot is dead. Owed by the weaver, 50 silver groats. The weaver is dead. You look at the numbers. They used to mean profit. They used to mean success. Now, they are just a list of ghosts. You pick up your quill. You dip it in the inkwell. The ink is black. You hold it over the page. You want to write something. But what? There are no sales. There is no trade. Instead, you write the date. October 1348. And under it, you write a single line. Today, the bells did not ring. You stare at the words. The ink glistens, wet and black, like the eyes of the rat, like the swelling on the neck. You close the book. You cannot look at it. The afternoon sun is fading now. The beam of light is moving up the wall. The golden hour is coming. Usually, the most beautiful time of day. Now, it just means the night is returning. And the night is when the fear is strongest. You hear a scratch inside the wall. Scritch, scritch, scritch. It is close, right behind the plaster. A rat. It is in the house. With you. Scritch, scritch, scritch. The sound is small, but in the silence of the house, it sounds like thunder. It is coming from behind the wainscoting, just a few inches from your head. You freeze. Your hand, still hovering over the ledger, trembles. The rat, the enemy. You have barred the door against the neighbors. You have closed the shutters against the air. You have washed your skin with vinegar. But the walls are porous. The house is old. The timber frame settles and shifts. The plaster cracks. And the rats, they know every secret path. You stand up slowly. You do not want to startle it. You pick up the heavy iron poker from the fireplace. You move toward the wall. Scritch, scritch. It is gnawing, chewing through the wood, making a door where there shouldn't be one. You strike the wall with the poker. Bang! The scratching stops. Silence returns, but it is a waiting silence. You know the rat is still there, just on the other side of the lath and plaster, listening, waiting for you to stop. You feel a wave of helplessness wash over you. You cannot fight them. There are millions of them. They are in the cellars, in the attics, in the saws, and now in the walls. You drop the poker. It clangs on the floorboards. You need to plug the hole. You search the room. You find an old rag, a scrap of linen. You soak it in the vinegar bottle. You find a crack near the floorboards, where the sound came from. You jam the wet, pungent cloth into the gap. It is a pathetic defense, a rag against the plague, but it is all you have. You step back. The smell of vinegar rises again. It is the scent of your fear. The light in the room is failing. The beam of sun has climbed to the ceiling and vanished. The grey twilight of evening is settling in. The corners of the room are disappearing into shadow. You need light, but candles are precious. Beeswax is for the church and the rich. You have tallow, animal fat. You take a rushlight, a dried reed dipped in mutton fat, from the shelf. You hold it to the dying embers of the hearth. It catches with a sputter. A small, yellow, smoky flame appears. It gives off very little light, and it smells of burning grease. But it pushes back the dark. A little. You place it in the iron holder on the table. The flame dances in the draught. It casts long, stretching shadows against the walls. The shadow of the table legs looks like the legs of a giant spider. The shadow of your own hand looks like a claw. You sit down again. You are tired. A deep, bone-weary exhaustion. You have done nothing today. You have scrubbed a table. You have drawn water. You have watched men bleed. But the fear takes energy. It drains you faster than hard labor. Your stomach grumbles. It is time for the evening meal. Supper. You have an apple. It is shriveled, wrinkled. It has been in the cellar for months. You cut away the bruised parts. You eat the rest. It is sweet, but the texture is mealy. You eat it slowly. You savor the sugar. It might be the last sweet thing you taste for a long time. Outside, the city is changing. The silence of the day is being replaced by the sounds of the night. You go to the shutter one last time. You peer out. The street is black. There are no street lamps. But in the distance, you see a glow. Orange. Flickering. It is the bonfires. The great fires at the crossroads are being stoked for the night. Sparks rise up into the black sky, mixing with the stars. The smoke drifts over the rooftops. It looks like the city is burning. Maybe it should. Maybe fire is the only thing that can clean it now. You hear a sound from the street below. Not a cart this time. Footsteps. Running. Someone is running through the dark. Are they running for a doctor? Are they running from a thief? Or have they just gone mad? The footsteps fade into the distance. You are alone again. It is time for bed. The most terrifying part of the day. To sleep is to surrender control. To sleep is to let your guard down. You undress. The air is cold on your skin. You stand by the rushlight. You perform the ritual again. The check. Hand to the neck. Press. Smooth. Hand to the armpit. Press. Smooth. Hand to the groin. Press. Smooth. You are clean. You blow out the rushlight. The darkness rushes in, instant and total. The smell of the extinguished tallow hangs in the air. You fumble your way to the bed. You crawl onto the straw mattress. You pull the heavy wool blanket up to your nose. You lie on your back. You stare up into the invisible rafters. You listen. Scritch, scritch. The rat is back. It pushes past the vinegar rag. It is in the room. You hear its tiny claws on the floorboards. Click, click, click. You hold your breath. You pray. Not for salvation. Just for sleep. Just for one more morning. Just to hear the scrape of the neighbors or the creak of the cart one more time. You close your eyes and you wait for the dark to take you. Scritch, scritch, scritch. The sound is small, but in the silence of the house, it sounds like thunder. It is coming from behind the wainscoting, just a few inches from your head. You freeze. Your hand, still hovering over the ledger, trembles. The rat, the enemy. You have barred the door against the neighbors. You have closed the shutters against the air. You have washed your skin with vinegar. But the walls are porous. The house is old. The timber frame settles and shifts. The plaster cracks. And the rats, they know every secret path. You stand up slowly. You do not want to startle it. You pick up the heavy iron poker from the fireplace. You move toward the wall. Scritch, scritch. It is gnawing, chewing through the wood, making a door where there shouldn't be one. You strike the wall with the poker. Bang! The scratching stops. Silence returns, but it is a waiting silence. You know the rat is still there, just on the other side of the lath and plaster, listening, waiting for you to stop. You feel a wave of helplessness wash over you. You cannot fight them. There are millions of them. They are in the cellars, in the attics, in the saws, and now in the walls. You drop the poker. It clangs on the floorboards. You need to plug the hole. You search the room. You find an old rag, a scrap of linen. You soak it in the vinegar bottle. You find a crack near the floorboards, where the sound came from. You jam the wet, pungent cloth into the gap. It is a pathetic defense, a rag against the plague, but it is all you have. You step back. The smell of vinegar rises again. It is the scent of your fear. The light in the room is failing. The beam of sun has climbed to the ceiling and vanished. The grey twilight of evening is settling in. The corners of the room are disappearing into shadow. You need light, but candles are precious. Beeswax is for the church and the rich. You have tallow, animal fat. You take a rushlight, a dried reed dipped in mutton fat, from the shelf. You hold it to the dying embers of the hearth. It catches with a sputter. A small, yellow, smoky flame appears. It gives off very little light, and it smells of burning grease. But it pushes back the dark. A little. You place it in the iron holder on the table. The flame dances in the draught. It casts long, stretching shadows against the walls. The shadow of the table legs looks like the legs of a giant spider. The shadow of your own hand looks like a claw. You sit down again. You are tired. A deep, bone-weary exhaustion. You have done nothing today. You have scrubbed a table. You have drawn water. You have watched men bleed. But the fear takes energy. It drains you faster than hard labor. Your stomach grumbles. It is time for the evening meal. Supper. You have an apple. It is shriveled, wrinkled. It has been in the cellar for months. You cut away the bruised parts. You eat the rest. It is sweet, but the texture is mealy. You eat it slowly. You savor the sugar. It might be the last sweet thing you taste for a long time. Outside, the city is changing. The silence of the day is being replaced by the sounds of the night. You go to the shutter one last time. You peer out. The street is black. There are no street lamps. But in the distance, you see a glow. Orange. Flickering. It is the bonfires. The great fires at the crossroads are being stoked for the night. Sparks rise up into the black sky, mixing with the stars. The smoke drifts over the rooftops. It looks like the city is burning. Maybe it should. Maybe fire is the only thing that can clean it now. You hear a sound from the street below. Not a cart this time. Footsteps. Running. Someone is running through the dark. Are they running for a doctor? Are they running from a thief? Or have they just gone mad? The footsteps fade into the distance. You are alone again. It is time for bed. The most terrifying part of the day. To sleep is to surrender control. To sleep is to let your guard down. You undress. The air is cold on your skin. You stand by the rushlight. You perform the ritual again. The check. Hand to the neck. Press. Smooth. Hand to the armpit. Press. Smooth. Hand to the groin. Press. Smooth. You are clean. You blow out the rushlight. The darkness rushes in, instant and total. The smell of the extinguished tallow hangs in the air. You fumble your way to the bed. You crawl onto the straw mattress. You pull the heavy wool blanket up to your nose. You lie on your back. You stare up into the invisible rafters. You listen. Scritch, scritch. The rat is back. It pushes past the vinegar rag. It is in the room. You hear its tiny claws on the floorboards. Click, click, click. You hold your breath. You pray. Not for salvation. Just for sleep. Just for one more morning. Just to hear the scrape of the neighbors or the creak of the cart one more time. You close your eyes and you wait for the dark to take you. Scritch, scritch, scritch. The sound is small, but in the silence of the house, it sounds like thunder. It is coming from behind the wainscoting, just a few inches from your head. You freeze. Your hand, still hovering over the ledger, trembles. The rat, the enemy. You have barred the door against the neighbors. You have closed the shutters against the air. You have washed your skin with vinegar. But the walls are porous. The house is old. The timber frame settles and shifts. The plaster cracks. And the rats, they know every secret path. You stand up slowly. You do not want to startle it. You pick up the heavy iron poker from the fireplace. You move toward the wall. Scritch, scritch. It is gnawing, chewing through the wood, making a door where there shouldn't be one. You strike the wall with the poker. Bang! The scratching stops. Silence returns. But it is a waiting silence. You know the rat is still there, just on the other side of the lath and plaster, listening, waiting for you to stop. You feel a wave of helplessness wash over you. You cannot fight them. There are millions of them. They are in the cellars, in the attics, in the saws, and now in the walls. You drop the poker. It clangs on the floorboards. You need to plug the hole. You search the room. You find an old rag, a scrap of linen. You soak it in the vinegar bottle. You find a crack near the floorboards, where the sound came from. You jam the wet, pungent cloth into the gap. It is a pathetic defense, a rag against the plague, but it is all you have. You step back. The smell of vinegar rises again. It is the scent of your fear. The light in the room is failing. The beam of sun has climbed to the ceiling and vanished. The grey twilight of evening is settling in. The corners of the room are disappearing into shadow. You need light, but candles are precious. Beeswax is for the church and the rich. You have tallow, animal fat. You take a rushlight, a dried reed dipped in mutton fat, from the shelf. You hold it to the dying embers of the hearth. It catches with a sputter. A small, yellow, smoky flame appears. It gives off very little light, and it smells of burning grease. But it pushes back the dark. A little. You place it in the iron holder on the table. The flame dances in the draught. It casts long, stretching shadows against the walls. The shadow of the table legs looks like the legs of a giant spider. The shadow of your own hand looks like a claw. You sit down again. You are tired. A deep, bone-weary exhaustion. You have done nothing today. You have scrubbed a table. You have drawn water. You have watched men bleed. But the fear takes energy. It drains you faster than hard labor. Your stomach grumbles. It is time for the evening meal. Supper. You have an apple. It is shriveled, wrinkled. It has been in the cellar for months. You cut away the bruised parts. You eat the rest. It is sweet, but the texture is mealy. You eat it slowly. You savor the sugar. It might be the last sweet thing you taste for a long time. Outside, the city is changing. The silence of the day is being replaced by the sounds of the night. You go to the shutter one last time. You peer out. The street is black. There are no street lamps. But in the distance, you see a glow. Orange. Flickering. It is the bonfires. The great fires at the crossroads are being stoked for the night. Sparks rise up into the black sky, mixing with the stars. The smoke drifts over the rooftops. It looks like the city is burning. Maybe it should. Maybe fire is the only thing that can clean it now. You hear a sound from the street below. Not a cart this time. Footsteps. Running. Someone is running through the dark. Are they running for a doctor? Are they running from a thief? Or have they just gone mad? The footsteps fade into the distance. You are alone again. It is time for bed. The most terrifying part of the day. To sleep is to surrender control. To sleep is to let your guard down. You undress. The air is cold on your skin. You stand by the rushlight. You perform the ritual again. The check. Hand to the neck. Press. Smooth. Hand to the armpit. Press. Smooth. Hand to the groin. Press. Smooth. You are clean. You blow out the rushlight. The darkness rushes in, instant and total. The smell of the extinguished tallow hangs in the air. You fumble your way to the bed. You crawl onto the straw mattress. You pull the heavy wool blanket up to your nose. You lie on your back. You stare up into the invisible rafters. You listen. Scritch, scritch. The rat is back. It pushes past the vinegar rag. It is in the room. You hear its tiny claws on the floorboards. Click, click, click. You hold your breath. You pray. Not for salvation. Just for sleep. Just for one more morning. Just to hear the scrape of the neighbors or the creak of the cart one more time. You close your eyes and you wait for the dark to take you. The oats are boiling. You stand over the small iron pot, watching the bubbles rise and burst. Bloop, bloop, bloop. It is a thick, grey mush. It does not look appetizing, but the smell is comforting. It smells of earth and harvest and life. You stir it with a wooden spoon. You count the circles. 1, 2, 3. You are trying to fill the time, to stretch a 5-minute task into 10, into 20, because once the oats are cooked and once they are eaten, you have nothing left to do. Nothing but wait. Nothing but listen to the house settling around you. You take the pot off the heat. You scoop the porridge into a wooden bowl. You do not have honey. You do not have milk. You eat it plain. It is hot. It burns your tongue. The pain is grounding. It reminds you that you still have feeling. You eat standing in the shadowy shop. You look at the bolts of cloth again, the crimson velvet. You think about making a new tunic, something bright, something defiant. But what is the point? Who would see it? The rats? The doctor? You put the bowl down. You are full, but not satisfied. The afternoon stretches out before you, a long, grey, empty road. You go back upstairs. The light in the main room has shifted. It is afternoon light now, yellow and slanted. It illuminates the dust you wiped away earlier, which has already returned. You sit by the window. You return to your post, the sentinel of the shutters. You peer out. The street is busy in a grim, silent way. 2 women are walking down the road. They are old, bent. They wear heavy cloaks and hoods that hide their faces. They carry white wands, long, white sticks. They are the searchers, the women hired by the parish to examine the dead, to verify the cause, to check for the marks, to see if it is the pestilence or just old age. They stop at the house where the doctor knocked earlier. The door opens. They slip inside, like shadows. You shudder. You know what they do. They strip the bodies. They check the armpits, the groins. They are the final judges. If they find the marks, the house is sealed, quarantined, boarded up, with the living trapped inside with the dead. It is a death sentence. You watch the door. You wait for them to come out. Minutes pass. A crow lands on the roof opposite you. It caws. Caw, caw. It is calling to its friends. The birds are the only things that seem happy. They are reclaiming the city, nesting in the empty market stalls, roosting on the silent bells. The door opens. The searchers step out. They nod to each other. One of them takes a piece of chalk from her pocket. She reaches up. She draws a cross on the door. Red chalk. The mark of the beast. The mark of God's wrath. It is confirmed. The sickness is there. You feel a pang of sorrow for whoever is inside, and a pang of fear for yourself. The sickness is getting closer. It is marching down the street, house by house, door by door. It is like a fire, jumping from roof to roof. And you are made of wood. You pull back from the window. You cannot watch anymore. You pace the room. 5 steps to the hearth. Turn. 5 steps to the table. Turn. 5 steps to the bed. Turn. You are a caged animal. You check your body again. The ritual. Hand to neck. Press. Smooth. Hand to armpit. Press. Smooth. But wait. Is it smooth? You pause. Your heart stops. You feel something. A small, tender spot under your arm. Is it a knot? Is it the beginning? You press harder. You wince. It hurts. Panic, cold and electric, shoots through your veins. You rush to the basin. You tear off your tunic. You look in the polished metal mirror hanging on the wall. You lift your arm. You stare at the skin. It looks normal, pale, unblemished. You touch it again. There is no lump, just a muscle, sore from scrubbing the table. Or maybe a lymph node, swollen from fear. You let out a breath. A jagged, shaky laugh escapes your lips. You are going mad. The silence is driving you mad. The waiting is driving you mad. You wash your face with the cold water. You need to calm down. You need to breathe. You put your tunic back on. You sit on the edge of the bed. You hold your head in your hands. You rock back and forth. I am well, you whisper. I am well. I am well. You say it like a spell, like a prayer. The sun begins to set. The light turns orange, then purple, then gray. The day is dying. You have survived another one. But the night is coming. And with it, the rats, and the dreams, and the wind. You stand up to light the rushlight. But you stop. You hear a sound. From the street. It is not a cart. It is not a bird. It is a voice. A loud, clear, booming voice. It is the town crier. He is walking the streets. He has news. News from the king. Or the mayor. You run to the shutter. You have to know. Is it over? Has the miracle happened? Has the pestilence passed? You press your ear to the wood. You listen to the words, echoing off the stones. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. The crier's voice booms against the plaster walls. It is a human sound, loud, authoritative. For a second, you feel a spark of hope. Maybe the king has sent doctors. Maybe the Pope has sent a blessing that actually works. You strain to hear the words. By order of the city council. He pauses. You hold your breath. It is hereby decreed that no man shall toll a bell for the dead. Your heart sinks. You already knew this. The bells stopped this morning. But now, it is law. It is decreed. that no funeral procession shall include more than 2 mourners. It is decreed that no butcher shall slaughter animals within the city walls. It is decreed that all stray dogs shall be killed on sight. Rules. Just more rules. No cure. No miracle. No hope. Just a list of things you cannot do. You cannot ring bells. You cannot mourn. You cannot keep a dog. The crier finishes his list. God save the king, he shouts. His voice is hoarse. He sounds tired. He rings his handbell once more. Clang, clang. And then he moves on. Down the street. To the next corner. To tell the next street that there is no hope. You slide the shutter closed. You latch it. The room feels smaller now. The news has sucked the air out of it. You turn back to the dark room. The rushlight has burned down low. The flame is drowning in a pool of hot grease. It flickers and goes out. You are in the dark. Total. Absolute. Dark. You stand there, in the middle of the room. You do not move to light another. What is the point? There is nothing to see. You know where the table is. You know where the bed is. You navigate by memory and by touch. Your hand brushes against the heavy velvet curtains of your bed. They used to be a sign of your status. Now, they are just dust collectors. You sit on the edge of the bed. You are fully dressed. You realize you do not want to undress tonight. You are too cold and too afraid. If the sickness comes tonight, if the fever starts, you want to be dressed. You want to be ready. Ready for what? To run? To die? You do not know. You just lie down, boots and all. The wool of your tunic scratches your neck. The boots feel heavy on your feet, but it feels safer. Like armor. You pull the blanket up. You lie on your back. The house is settling for the night. You hear the timber frame groaning. CRAACK. It sounds like the house is in pain, like it is suffering along with the people. You close your eyes, and you try to remember what the world looked like before. You try to remember the color of the sky when it wasn't gray. You try to remember the taste of roast pork and fresh wine. You try to remember the sound of music. That wasn't a funeral dirge. But the memories are fading. They feel like stories someone told you a long time ago. The only reality is this room and the scratching. It starts again. Scritch, scritch, scritch. The rat. It is persistent. It is hungry. It is chewing at the vinegar rag. It wants to come in. It wants to share your warmth. You pick up a shoe from the floor beside the bed. You throw it at the wall. Thump. The scratching stops. For a moment. But you know it will come back. It always comes back. You feel a tear, hot and sudden, slide down your cheek. It runs into your ear. You do not wipe it away. You are just so tired. Tired of the fear. Tired of the silence. Tired of the rats. You wonder if the widow is still alive. You wonder if she is still thirsty. You feel a pang of guilt, sharp as a knife. You could have given her water. You could have been a human being. But you chose to be a survivor. And now, you are alone in the dark, with your guilt, and your fear, and the rat. Scritch, scritch. It is back. You ignore it. You let the sound become a rhythm, a lullaby, A song of the pestilence. You drift. Your breathing slows. You are falling asleep. But your hand, your right hand, steals up to your neck. One last time. Just to check. Press. Smooth. Safe. For tonight. Sleep takes you. And the city waits for morning. You wake with a start. It is not the light that wakes you. It is a sound. A loud, rhythmic banging. Bang, bang, bang. It is not the wind. It is not a rat. It is wood striking wood. Right outside. You sit up. The air is freezing. You scramble to the shutter. You do not even bother with the check. The fear in your chest is too immediate. You press your eye to the crack. Across the street, the door is open. The door of the neighbor. The one who looked at you. The one who shared the silence with you just yesterday. Two men are standing there. They are not doctors. They are not priests. They are bearers. Strong men. Desperate men. Paid a few coppers to carry the living and the dead. They are dragging something out of the house. A mattress. Stained. Dirty. And on the mattress is your neighbor. He is not dead. Not yet. He is moving weakly. His hand clutches at the doorframe, as if trying to hold on to his home. But his fingers slip. He is gray. His eyes are wide, glassy, staring up at the gray sky. He is gasping for air. You can see the swellings on his neck. They are black, size of apples. The plague, the Black Death. It was right there, 10 feet away. While you looked at him yesterday, the poison was already boiling in his blood. Did you breathe his air? Did the wind carry his sigh across the narrow street and into your lungs? You hold your breath. You step back from the window. You want to scrub your eyes. You want to scrub your memory. You hear a woman screaming. It is his wife. She is being held back by another bearer. She wants to go with him, to the pest house, to the pits. But they push her back inside. Quarantine, one of the men shouts. His voice is muffled by a rag. Stay inside. The door must be sealed. They slam the heavy oak door shut. One of the men takes a hammer and a long iron nail. Wham! He drives the nail into the wood. He is nailing the door shut, with the wife inside, and the children. You didn't know there were children, but you hear them now, crying, muffled by the thick wood. They are being sealed in a tomb, with the air that killed their father. If they didn't have the sickness before, they will have it soon. You watch, paralyzed. This is the law, cruel, absolute. To save the many, they sacrifice the few. The bearers lift the mattress. The neighbor groans. A terrible, gurgling sound. They dump him into a waiting cart. Not the death cart. The sick cart. It rattles away, bouncing over the stones. The man with the hammer finishes his work. He takes a pot of red paint. He paints a cross on the door. Crude, dripping. It looks like blood. Then he turns. He looks up at your window. Can he see you? Can he see your eye pressing against the crack? Does he know you are watching? He stares for a moment. Then he spits on the cobblestones and walks away. Silence returns to the street. But it is not empty silence anymore. It is filled with the muffled, terrified weeping from across the way. You slide down the wall. You sit on the floor, under the window. You pull your knees to your chest. You are shaking, violently. Your teeth chatter. You wrap your arms around yourself. You are next. You know it. It is circling you, like a wolf, taking the baker, taking the widow, taking the neighbor. The circle is getting smaller, tighter. You look at your hands. They look pale in the dim light. Are they shaking because of the cold or the fever? You touch your neck, frantically, pressing deep, hurting yourself. Is there a lump? Is that a knot? No, just tendon, just bone. But for how long? You feel a sudden, overwhelming urge to run, to unbolt the door, to run out of the city, to run to the fields, to the woods, where the air is clean, where there are no red crosses. But you know, it is too late. The gates are closed, guarded by men with pikes. No one leaves. No one enters. The city is a ship, sinking in a dark ocean, and you are trapped in the hold. You close your eyes. You try to block out the sound of the weeping children, but you can't. It seeps through the walls. It seeps into your soul. You realize, with a heavy, dull certainty, that you are alone, truly alone. God has left the city. The king has left the city. Even the birds seem to have gone quiet. There is only you, and the waiting. The hours bleed into one another. There is no sun to mark the time anymore. Just the shifting grey light against the plaster. And the cold. It is seeping through the walls now. The fire in the hearth has died down to a few stubborn embers. You have wood in the cellar, but to get it, you have to go back down there, back to the dark, back to the rats. You decide you are not cold enough yet. You wrap the blanket tighter around your shoulders. You look at the room. It used to be your home, your sanctuary. Now, it looks like a stranger's house. The dust is returning. The vinegar smell is fading, replaced by the stale, heavy scent of unwashed wool and old fear. You stand up. Your legs are stiff. You walk to the shelf where you keep your few books. You are a merchant. You can read. It was a point of pride once. You pull down a heavy, leather-bound volume. A psalter, a book of psalms. You open it. The pages are vellum, smooth calfskin. The ink is illuminated with gold leaf and bright blue lapis lazuli. The Lord is my shepherd, you read. I shall not want. You laugh. A dry, cracking sound in the empty room. You do want. You want water. You want fresh bread. You want to hear a human voice that isn't screaming. You turn the page. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. You slam the book shut. The dust flies up. You are not walking through the valley. You are living in it. You are building a house in it. You put the book back. It offers no comfort today. God is speaking a different language now. The language of the swollen lymph node. The language of the Red Cross. You pace again. You count the floorboards. 1, 2, 3, 4. A knothole. 5, 6. A nail head. 7, 8. You know every inch of this floor, every stain, every scratch. It is your entire world. Your universe has shrunk to 20 feet by 20 feet. You stop at the table. You look at the rushlight holder. It is empty. You need to put a new one in, but you hesitate. Why? Why fight the dark? The dark is kind. The dark hides the dust. It hides the fear in your own eyes when you catch your reflection in the metal basin. You decide to leave it. You will sit in the dark tonight. It feels like a surrender. A small one, but a surrender nonetheless. You sit in your chair. The wood creaks. You close your eyes. And you listen. The city outside is not silent anymore. It is evening. And the night sounds are beginning. But they are not the sounds of revelry. They are the sounds of desperation. You hear a crash. Somewhere down the street. Glass breaking. Wood splintering. Thieves. Someone shouts. But the shout is weak. Looters. They are breaking into the empty houses. Or maybe the houses that aren't empty yet. They are stealing silver. Stealing clothes. Stealing the very sheets from the beds of the dead. They are brave. Or stupid. They think the silver is worth the sickness. You wonder if they will come here. You have bolts of silk. You have coins in the chest. You look at the heavy iron bolt on your door. It is strong. But is it strong enough? You get up. You walk to the fireplace. You pick up the heavy iron poker again. You hold it in your hand. It feels cold. Heavy. It is a weapon. You are a cloth merchant. You have never held a weapon in anger in your life. You measure fabric. You do not break bones. But tonight, you might have to. You drag a heavy wooden chest across the floor. Screech. The sound sets your teeth on edge. You push it against the door. Then you drag the table. And the heavy chairs. You build a barricade. A fortress within a fortress. You step back. The door is blocked. No one can get in. But now, you realize something else. You cannot get out. You have sealed yourself in. Completely. If the fire spreads, you burn. If the sickness takes you, you die alone behind a wall of furniture. No one will find you. Not for weeks. Maybe months. You will just be a skeleton in a tunic. Found by strangers. Years from now. The thought should terrify you. But instead, you feel a strange calm. It is done. The decision is made. You are not going anywhere. You sit down on the floor, with your back against the barricade. You hold the poker across your knees. You wait for the thieves. You wait for the rats. You wait for the fever. You are the king of this little room. And this is your last stand. The sun goes down completely. The room vanishes into black. And the long night begins again. You do not know how long you sit there. Time has stopped. The only clock is the beating of your own heart. Thud thud. Thud thud. It feels loud enough to shake the floorboards. You are sitting in the pitch black, your back pressed against the heavy oak chest you dragged across the room. The iron poker is slippery in your sweating hands. Your legs are numb, but you do not move. You are a statue, a gargoyle, guarding an empty tomb. Outside, the noises have changed. The distant shouting has stopped. The crashing glass has stopped. Now, there are footsteps. Close, right on the cobblestones below your window. Heavy boots, not the shuffle of the sick. These are the steps of strong men. There are voices. Low, guttural. Try this one. A rough voice. No. Look at the lintel. A second voice. Nervous. Is that a cross? It's too dark to see. You stop breathing. You press your head back against the wood of the chest. You stare blindly into the dark. They are standing right outside your door. The shop door. Downstairs. You hear the latch rattle. Clack, clack. The sound vibrates up through the floorboards and into your spine. They are trying to get in. You grip the poker so hard your knuckles ache. If they break the door down, they will come up the stairs. They will see the barricade. They will know you are in here. And they will not care about your fear. They will want your silver, your cloth, maybe just your life. It's locked tight, the first voice growls. Leave it, the second voice says. I smell vinegar. They're probably dead inside anyway. Rotting. Dead men don't fight back, the first one says. He kicks the door. Boom. The house shudders. Dust falls from the ceiling beams, landing on your face. You do not brush it away. You do not make a sound. You are not here. You are a ghost. Come on, the second voice urges. The baker's house is open. I saw it. There is a pause, a agonizing, stretching moment of silence. Is he listening? Can he hear your heart? Then, you hear footsteps again, moving away, fading down the street. You let out a breath. It is a jagged, broken sound. You are safe, but the safety feels fragile, thin as paper. They left because they thought you were dead. That is your defense now, to be indistinguishable from a corpse. You relax your grip on the poker. Your hands are cramping. You try to stand up, but your legs won't work. They are asleep, prickling with needles. You stay on the floor. It feels safer down here anyway. Lower than the window, hidden by the furniture. You realize you are thirsty again. A terrible, scratching thirst. You drank the last of the water hours ago. The bucket is empty. To get more, you have to go to the well. You have to unbar the door. You have to move the chest. You have to walk past the spot where the looters stood. You shake your head in the dark. No, not tonight. Maybe never. You will drink the vinegar if you have to. You will lick the frost off the window pane. But you will not open that door. The adrenaline begins to fade. And in its place comes the cold. The fire is long dead. The house is losing its heat. You can feel the chill seeping up through the floorboards from the shop below. It wraps around your ankles like shackles. You need to move. You need to get into the bed, under the wool blankets. But the bed feels miles away, across the open floor, exposed. You decide to stay where you are. You pull your own cloak tighter around you. You curl up on the rug, behind the barricade. Like a dog, like the rat, you are becoming less human, hour by hour. Dignity is a luxury. Survival is animal. You close your eyes. The silence of the room presses in on your ears. It creates a ringing sound, a high, thin whine. Is that the silence? Or is it the fever starting? The doctors say the sickness begins with a ringing in the ears and a flushing of the face. You touch your cheeks. They feel hot, but your hands are cold. So how can you tell? You are trapped in your own body, just as you are trapped in this house. You cannot trust your senses. You cannot trust your mind. You are drifting. The floor is hard, but exhaustion is softer. It pulls you down. You do not sleep. Not really. You just stop being awake. You enter the gray space again, the waiting room, where the only sound is the wind and the scratching and the beating of your own terrified heart. And somewhere, deep in the city, a dog howls. A lonely, mournful sound. The only mourner left. The night drags on. You wake, but this time, it is not a start. It is a slow, painful surfacing. You feel heavy. Your limbs feel like they are made of lead. The floorboards are hard against your hip. You have slept in your clothes, curled up like a dog behind the barricade of furniture. The light in the room is weak. It is another gray morning. The sun seems to have forgotten how to shine. It is just a pale, white disk behind a curtain of fog. You try to swallow. You cannot. Your throat is stuck. Your tongue feels like a piece of dry leather in your mouth. Thirst. It is not just a craving anymore. It is a roaring demand. You sit up. Your head spins. Black spots dance in your vision. You grab the leg of the table to steady yourself. You need liquid. Now. You look at the bucket. Still empty. Dry as a bone. You look at the vinegar bottle. There is a little left. You pick it up. You uncork it. The smell hits you. Sharp. Acrid. You tilt it back. You take a small sip. Burn. It sears your throat. It makes your eyes water. It is wet, but it does not quench the thirst. It just makes your stomach cramp. You cough. A dry, hacking sound. You need water. Or wine. You remember. The cellar. There is a cask of wine. Cheap red wine. You bought it for the servants. Back when you had servants. Back when the house was full of noise and life. It is down there. In the dark. But to get to it, you have to leave this room. You have to dismantle your fortress. You look at the barricade, the heavy oak chest, the table, the chairs. Last night, they were your shield. This morning, they are your prison bars. You stand up. Your knees pop. You grab the chair. You pull it away. It scrapes loudly on the floor. Screech. You wince. The sound seems to echo through the whole city. You pull the table back. Then the chest. It is heavier than you remember. Or maybe you are just weaker. You pant for breath. Sweat breaks out on your forehead. Is it the exertion? Or the fever? You stop. You check your neck. Press. Smooth. You are safe. For another hour. You finally clear the door. You slide the iron bolt back. You open the door. The hallway is dark. Silent. It smells of stale air and dust. You listen. Nothing. No footsteps. No breathing. Just the house. Waiting. You walk to the stairs. You descend. Creak, creak. You reach the shop floor. It is darker down here. The shutters are still barred tight. You walk to the front door. The street door. You inspect it. There is a crack in the wood, near the lock, where the looter kicked it. A splinter of fresh, white wood, standing out against the dark oak. It held, thank God, but the crack is a reminder. The world outside wants to get in. You turn away. You walk to the back of the shop, to the cellar door. You lift the latch. You light a rushlight. You stare down into the black hole of the stairwell. The smell wafts up. Earth, damp, and something else. Something sweet. Rotting apples? Or something worse? You do not want to go down there. The cellar belongs to the rats now. But the thirst pushes you. You take the first step, then the second. The air gets colder. You hold the light high. You reach the dirt floor. You scan the corners. Shadows jump. You see movement. A tail, pink and scaly, vanishing behind a barrel. They are here. You ignore them. You move to the wine cask. It sits in the corner, dusty and forgotten. You tap it with your knuckle. Thud. It sounds full. You could weep with relief. You find a wooden cup on the shelf nearby. It is covered in cobwebs. You wipe it with your sleeve. You turn the spigot on the cask. Nothing happens. It is stuck, dried shut. You pull harder. You grunt with effort. Creak. It turns. A stream of dark red liquid splashes into the cup. It looks like blood in the dim light. You fill the cup. You bring it to your lips. You drink. It is sour. It tastes of vinegar and old wood. But it is wet. It is glorious. You drink it all. You fill the cup again. You drink until your stomach hurts. You lean against the cask. You close your eyes. For a moment, just a moment, you feel better. The sharp edge of the thirst is dull. But then, you open your eyes. And you look at the floor, near the wall, where the rat ran. There is a bundle of rags. Old sacking, but it has a shape. A familiar shape. You step closer, holding the light out. It is not sacking. It is a tunic. A small tunic. And inside it are bones. Tiny bones. Picked clean. It is a cat. One of the city's cats. Killed by the decree. Thrown into your cellar. Perhaps through the coal chute. Months ago. And the rats have eaten it. They have eaten the predator. The world is upside down. The prey is eating the hunter. You feel sick. The sour wine churns in your stomach. You back away. You want to get out of here. Up to the light. Up to your room. You turn to the stairs. But you stop. You hear a sound. Upstairs. In the shop. Creak. A footstep. Someone is in the house. The footstep was unmistakable. Creak. It came from the floorboards directly above your head. In the shop. You freeze. Your hand, clutching the wooden cup of sour wine, turns into a claw. You stare up at the ceiling of the cellar. It is low. Just beams and planks. You can see dust filtering down through the cracks, illuminated by your rushlight. Another step. Thud. Heavier this time. Someone is wearing boots. Someone is walking past your counter. Your heart, which had just begun to slow down, kicks against your ribs. Thud, thud, thud. You look at the rushlight in your hand. It is a beacon. A bright, yellow star in the darkness of the cellar. If they look down the stairwell, they will see the light. They will know someone is down here. You have to put it out. But if you put it out, you are alone in the dark. With the rats. And the skeleton of the cat. The footsteps pause. Right above the trapdoor. You hear a voice. Muffled. Indistinct. Anything. A pause. Just rags. And dust. Looters. They came back. Or maybe it is a new group. Scavengers. Picking over the carcass of the city. They are looking for your silver. For your coin box. You blow out the rushlight. Poof. The cellar plunges into absolute blackness. It is a thick, suffocating heavy dark. You cannot see your hand in front of your face. You back away slowly. You feel for the wine cask behind you. You press your back against the wood. You slide down until you are crouching on the dirt floor. You make yourself small, a ball of fear. You listen. Upstairs, the footsteps move again. Creak, creak. They are walking towards the back of the shop, towards the door to the cellar. You left it open. You fool. You left the latch up. You hear the hinges groan. E. A beam of light cuts through the darkness. It is a pale, yellow shaft. It falls down the stone steps, hitting the dirt floor just a few feet from where you are hiding. It illuminates the dust motes swirling in the stagnant air. It illuminates the rat hole in the corner. You hold your breath. You press your hand over your mouth. You do not blink. A shadow falls across the light. A man is standing at the top of the stairs. You cannot see him, only his shadow, stretched out long and distorted on the cellar floor. He is holding a lantern. He leans in. Anyone down there? His voice echoes in the stone space. It sounds rough. Hoarse. Maybe he has the sickness too. Maybe he is desperate. You do not answer. You are a stone. You are a sack of grain. You are nothing. He takes a step down. The stone scrapes under his boot. Then another step. He is coming down. He is coming for the wine. Or he is coming to check for hiding survivors. If he finds you, what will you do? You have no weapon. The poker is upstairs. You only have a wooden cup. You squeeze your eyes shut. You wait for the inevitable. You wait for the light to hit your face. You wait for the shout. But then, he stops. He sniffs the air. Smells like death down here, he mutters. Rotten. He is smelling the cat. Or maybe the rats. Or maybe the damp earth itself. He hesitates. The shadow wavers. Forget it, he says to someone upstairs. Just a rat hole. Probably flooded. He steps back. Up the stairs. The light retreats. The shadow vanishes. The door slams shut. Bang. Darkness returns. Instant. Total. You hear the bolt slide home on the other side. Clack. He has locked it. He has locked the cellar door. From the outside, you sit there in the pitch black. For a moment, you do not understand. Your brain is slow, frozen by fear. Then, the realization hits you, cold and hard. You are safe from the looter. He is gone. You hear his footsteps fading, walking out the front door, back into the street. But you are trapped. Trapped in the cellar, with the wine, and the grain, and the rats. You scramble to your feet. You fumble in the dark, reaching for the stairs. You find the cold stone. You climb. You hit the wood of the door. You push. It does not budge. You push harder. No. You whisper. No. 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 You pound on the wood with your fist. Thud. Thud. It is solid oak. And the bolt is iron. You are buried alive. You slide down the door. You sit on the top step. You put your head in your hands. You do not scream. Who would hear you? The dead neighbors? The deaf city? You are alone. In the dark. Under the earth. Just like the baker. Just like the rest of them. You start to laugh. A low, wheezing, hysterical sound. It echoes in the small space. You came down here for a drink, to save your life. And now, this is your tomb. You sit there for a long time. The laughter fades, replaced by silence. And then, you hear it. A sound from the corner. Scritch, scritch. Bold. Close. The rats know you are trapped. And they are not afraid of the dark. The scratching grows louder. It is not just one rat anymore. It is a chorus. Scritch, scritch, scuffle. You can hear them moving in the dark. Their claws clicking on the stone floor. Their bodies dragging over the dirt. They know you are here. And they know you are trapped. You are no longer the master of the house. You are a guest in their kingdom. You wave your hand in the darkness. Get back, you hiss. Your voice sounds small, pathetic. It is swallowed by the damp earth walls. You need light, desperately, but your rushlight is dead, burnt out. You fumble in your pockets. You have a flint and a steel striker. You always carry them, but you have no tinder, no dry moss, no charred cloth. You feel around on the floor. Your hand touches the dirt, the stone. Then, it touches something dry. Straw, packed around the base of the wine cask. To keep it steady, you pull a handful loose. It feels brittle, old. You pile it on the floor in front of you. You strike the flint against the steel. Click. Sparks fly. Tiny, orange stars, dying in the dark. You strike again. Click. A spark lands on the straw. It glows. You blow on it. Gently. Ooh. The glow spreads. A small flame jumps up. It is weak. Yellow. But it is light. You scramble to feed it. You pull more straw. You find a piece of wood. A stave from an old, broken barrel. You put it on the fire. It catches. The cellar lights up. The shadows dance, wild and jagged, against the low ceiling. You look around your prison. It is a small room. Stone walls. Dirt floor. The wine cask in the corner. The sacks of grain stacked against the wall. And the rats. They are everywhere, sitting on the barrels, peeking out from behind the sacks, watching you. Their eyes reflect the firelight. Dozens of tiny, red, glowing dots. They do not run. They are not afraid of the fire. They are waiting for it to go out. You shrink back against the door. You clutch the wooden cup to your chest. You take another drink of the sour wine. It warms you. It dulls the sharp edge of the panic. You realize, with a strange, detached clarity, that this is how it ends. Not in your bed, not with a priest, but here, in the dark, with the vermin. You look at the grain sacks. They are your bed now. You crawl over to them. You keep your eyes on the rats. You grab a sack of oats. You drag it closer to the fire. You curl up on it. The burlap is rough against your cheek, but it is better than the dirt. You drink more wine. You drink until the room starts to spin, until the red eyes of the rats blur into streaks of light. You want to be drunk. You want to be numb. If the end is coming, you do not want to be sober for it. The fire crackles. It is a comforting sound, like a hearth, like home. You close your eyes. The heat of the small fire touches your face. For a moment, you can pretend. You can pretend you are a child again, camping in the woods, telling ghost stories. But this is not a story. This is 1348. And the ghost is you. Your thoughts begin to drift. Loose, unanchored. You think of the cloth upstairs. The blue velvet. It would have made a nice pillow. You think of the neighbor. Painted into his house. Is he dead yet? Are the children crying? Or are they silent now? You think of the doctor. The bird mask. Maybe he was right. Maybe we are not men anymore. Maybe we are just birds, waiting to fly away. The wine is working. The fear is receding, replaced by a heavy, black fog. Your limbs feel heavy. Your eyelids flutter. The fire is dying down. The shadows are lengthening again, creeping closer. But you do not add more wood. You do not have the strength. Let it go out. Let the dark come. You are ready. You let the cup slip from your fingers. It rolls onto the dirt floor. Thump. The last few drops of wine spill out. A red stain, soaking into the earth. Like a libation. Like an offering to the gods of the underworld. You sleep, passed out, unconscious, trapped in a stone box beneath a dying city. And outside, the world turns. The sun sets, the moon rises, and the Great Mortality marches on. You wake up, but there is no dawn here. There is no grey light filtering through a shutter. There is only black, thick, heavy, suffocating black. You do not know if your eyes are open or closed. You blink. Nothing changes. You are still in the cellar. The fire you built has burned out. The warmth has vanished, replaced by a damp, earthen chill that seeps into your bones. You try to move. Your head throbs. A dull, rhythmic pounding behind your eyes. The sour wine. Your mouth tastes like vinegar and dust. You groan. The sound echoes in the small stone box. It sounds pathetic. Weak. You sit up. The grain sacks rustle beneath you. You reach out a hand. You touch the cold stone floor. You feel for the wooden cup. It is gone. Rolled away in the dark. You feel something else. Fur. Warm, living fur. You snatch your hand back. You hear a squeak. And the scuffle of tiny claws. The rats were sleeping with you, curled up against your warmth. You shudder. You stand up. Your legs are stiff. You stumble. You reach out blindly, until your hands find the rough stone wall. You lean against it. You need to know. Was it a nightmare? Did the looter really lock the door? You feel your way along the wall. Step by step. Like a blind man. You touch the barrels. You touch the sacks. You find the wooden stairs. You climb. 1, 2, 3 steps. You reach the top. You raise your hands. You find the wood of the door. You push. Thud. It is solid. Immovable. You push harder. You throw your shoulder against it. Thud. It does not give. Not even a fraction of an inch. The iron bolt on the other side holds fast. You are still trapped. You slide back down the stairs. You sit on the bottom step. The panic, which you drowned in wine, begins to rise again. But it is different now. It is not the frantic, screaming panic of the night before. It is a cold, heavy dread. You are buried. You are in a tomb. And you are still alive. How long has it been? Is it morning? Is it night? Has a day passed? 2 days? In the dark, time dissolves. It becomes a fluid thing, stretching and compressing. You could be down here for an hour, or a week. You listen. You strain your ears, trying to catch a sound from the world above. You hear nothing. The house upstairs is silent. The street outside is silent. The city feels dead. Maybe everyone is dead. Maybe the looter was the last man alive. Maybe you are the last soul on earth, trapped in a cellar with the rats. Your stomach grumbles. It is a loud, angry sound. Hunger. It cuts through the fear. You have food. You have the grain. You crawl back to the sacks. You untie the top of the oat sack. You plunge your hand in. The grain feels cool, smooth, like thousands of tiny stones. You take a handful. You put it in your mouth. Raw oats. They are hard, dry. They suck the little moisture you have left in your mouth. You chew. It is like eating gravel. But you swallow. You need the strength. You eat another handful. Then another. You think of water. You have the wine. You feel your way to the cask. You find the cup, kicked against the wall. You fill it. You drink. It is still sour, still awful, but it washes down the dust of the oats. This is your life now. Raw grain, sour wine, darkness. You wonder how long you can last. The air is stale. It smells of the dead cat, and the rats, and your own unwashed body. You are breathing the same air, over and over again. Is there enough air? Will you suffocate? Or will the fever take you first? You touch your neck. The check. Even in the dark, even in the tomb, the ritual continues. Press. Smooth. You are still healthy. It feels like a cruel joke. You are healthy enough to die slowly, to starve, or thirst, or go mad in the dark. You crawl back to the straw pile where the fire used to be. You lie down. You curl up. You are tired again. The darkness is heavy. It pushes down on your eyelids. You try to sleep, but your mind is awake. It is playing tricks on you. You see flashes of light behind your eyelids. Red, blue. You hear voices, whispers. Open the door, they say. Let us in. Is it the rats talking, or the ghosts? You cover your ears. Go away, you whisper. Leave me alone. But they do not go away. The silence of the cellar is filled with the noise of your own mind. And then, you hear a real sound. Thump. Above you. On the floor of the shop. Something heavy. Falling. Or being dropped. The sound hangs in the air. Thump. It was heavy. Wet. Like a sack of grain dropped from a height. Or a body. You freeze. Your heart restarts its frantic hammering against your ribs. Thud, thud, thud. You stare up at the ceiling. At the wooden planks that separate you from the shop floor. Dust sifts down through the cracks. It falls into your hair, into your eyes. You do not brush it away. You listen. For a long time, there is silence. Then, a groan. Low, guttural, painful. It is a human sound. Someone is up there. Someone has fallen. You scramble to your feet. The wine cup rolls away unnoticed. You rush to the stairs. You climb them on hands and knees, desperate, clawing at the stone steps. You reach the top. You press your face against the rough wood of the door. Hello? You whisper. Your voice is a croak. Unused. Dry. You try again. Louder. Hello. Is anyone there? Silence. Then, the scraping sound, like fabric dragging over wood. And the groan again. Water. The voice is right there, just on the other side of the door, maybe 2 feet away. It is a man's voice. Rough. Weak. Is it the looter? Did he come back? Did the sickness take him? Right here. In your shop? I am here, you shout. I am trapped. Open the door. You pound on the wood with your fist. Bang, bang, bang. Open the bolt. Please. You hear a gasp on the other side. Who? The voice trails off. I am the merchant. This is my house. Open the door. You hear movement. Slow. Agonizing movement. The man is crawling, dragging himself across the floorboards. Toward the door. Toward your voice. Help me, he rasps. Burning. He has the fever, the fire in the blood. He has broken into your house to die. I can help you. You lie. I have water. I have wine. Just open the door. You are desperate. You will say anything. You hear him hit the door. Thump. His body is pressed against the wood. You can hear his breathing now. Ragged. Wet. Bubbling. It sounds like a bellows full of water. He is dying. Right now. The bolt, you say. Slide the bolt. You hear a hand fumbling on the wood. Scratching. He is trying. You hold your breath. You stare at the crack between the door and the frame. You see a shadow move across the sliver of light. His hand. You hear his fingers brush the iron bolt. Clink. Push it. You scream. Push it back. He groans. A terrible, long sound. Can't. He whispers. Too heavy. Try, you shout. Try harder. You hear him grunt with effort. Scritch. Clink. The bolt moves. Just a fraction. You hear the metal grind against the bracket. Yes, you cry. Yes, do it. But then, the scratching stops. You hear a heavy exhale. And a slide. His body slides down the door. He has collapsed. He is lying against the bottom of the door, blocking it. No, you whisper. Get up. Get up. You pound on the door again. Wake up. But there is no answer. Just the wet, rattling breathing. Slower now. More spaced out. In, rattle, out. Silence. In, rattle, out. Silence. You press your forehead against the wood. You are crying. Tears cut tracks through the dust on your face. He is dying. He is dying on your doorstep. And he is your jailer. His body is the final lock. Even if he unlocked it now, his dead weight would hold the door shut. You listen to his breath fade. It takes a long time. Minutes that feel like hours. The rattling gets softer. Then, it stops. A final, long silence. He is gone. You are alone again. But now, you are not just trapped. You are guarding a corpse. You slide down the stairs. You sit on the bottom step again. The hope, which had flared so bright and hot, dies. It leaves a cold, grey ash in your chest. You look at the darkness of the cellar. It seems thicker now, heavier. You think of the man upstairs. Who was he? A thief? A neighbor? It doesn't matter. He was a human being. And he died alone. Just inches away from another soul. That is the cruelty of this time. It puts walls between us. Doors. Bolts. Fear. You crawl back to the grain sacks. You do not eat. You do not drink. You just lie there. You listen to the silence of the tomb above. And the scratching of the rats below. They are getting bolder. One of them sniffs your boot. You kick it away weakly. You are too tired to fight them. You close your eyes. And you wait for your own rattle to begin. Maybe, if you are lucky, it will be quick. Like the man upstairs. Maybe you will just stop. You drift. Into the dark. Into the silence. Into the deep, endless sleep of the forgotten. You wake. Or perhaps you were never asleep. It is hard to tell anymore. The darkness is a constant. A heavy, velvet curtain that never lifts. But something has changed. The air. It has grown thick, heavy, and it smells. It is not the earthy damp of the cellar anymore. It is not the vinegar. It is sweet, cloying, disgusting. It smells like the cart. It smells like the pits. It is the man upstairs. He is dead. And in the heat of the closed shop, he is beginning to turn. The smell seeps through the cracks in the floorboards. It drifts down the stairwell. It settles in the cellar like a poisonous fog. You gag. You pull your tunic up over your nose. But the fabric is not enough. The smell is inside your throat. It is tasting you. You scramble away from the stairs. You press your back against the far wall. You want to get as far away from the door as possible. But the cellar is small. There is nowhere to go. You are breathing him in. With every breath, you are taking a piece of his death into your lungs. Panic rises. Sharp. Electric. Let me out, you scream. Your voice is raw. Cracked. Let me out. You throw a handful of gravel at the ceiling. It rains back down on your face. Silence answers you. The heavy, indifferent silence of the grave. You sit there, panting. Your head spins. Is it the air? Is it the lack of oxygen? Or is it the fever finally taking hold? You touch your neck. Your fingers are trembling so much you can barely find the skin. Press. It feels tender? Or is it just bruised from your constant checking? You cannot tell. You are losing your mind. You need to get out. Not for water. Not for food. But for air. If you stay here, you will suffocate on the stench of the dead. You look around the dark space. Desperate. Wild. You look for a crack of light. A weakness in the stone. Anything. Your eyes roam the walls. And then, you remember. The cat. The bundle of bones in the corner. How did it get here? The looter didn't unlock the door for it. It didn't walk down the stairs. You crawled over to the pile of rags. You ignore the rats scattering away. You pick up the small skeleton. You look at the wall above it. It is dark, shadowy, but there, high up, near the ceiling beams, a shape, square, a wooden shutter, small, maybe 2 feet wide. It is the coal chute, the delivery hatch, where the coalman used to pour the fuel for the winter fires. It opens to the street. It must open to the street. You drop the bones. You scramble to the wall. You reach up. Your fingers brush the rough stone. It is too high, 6 feet above your head. You jump. Your fingertips graze the wood of the shutter. Just a graze. You land hard on the dirt. Your legs are weak. You stumble, but you feel hope. A tiny, burning spark of hope. You look around the cellar. You need height. You need to climb. The wine cask. It is heavy, full of dregs, but it is your only chance. You put your shoulder against it. You push. It grates against the floor. Scrape. It moves. An inch. You push again. Grunting. Sweat stinging your eyes. Inch by inch. You drag it across the room. Toward the wall with the chute. The rats watch you. They seem curious. Or maybe they are waiting for you to fail. You finally get the cask to the wall. You stand back. You pant. Your heart is hammering. Thud, thud, thud. You climb onto the cask. It wobbles. You steady yourself against the wall. You reach up. Your hands find the wood of the shutter. It is damp, slimy with mold. You push. Thud. It doesn't move. It is rusted shut, or blocked from the outside. Or maybe someone is standing on it. No. You whisper. Please. You pound on it with your fist. Bang. Bang. Help. You scream. I'm down here. You push with all your remaining strength. Your shoulders burn. Your vision blurs. And then, siarak, a sound. Not the wood breaking, but something shifting. Dirt falls on your face. Cold, wet street mud. The shutter moves. Just a fraction. A tiny sliver of grey light appears. Real light. Street light. Cold, fresh, smoky air rushes in. It hits your face like a slap. You gasp. You drink it in. It tastes of freedom. You push again. Harder. Groan. The hinge gives way. The shutter swings upward, opening a square hole to the world above. You pull yourself up. You rest your chin on the muddy ledge of the street. You look out, and you see the city, or what is left of it. It is a landscape of hell. The street is empty of people, but it is full of carts, overturned, abandoned. Coffins are stacked against the walls of the houses. 3 high, 4 high, like cordwood. There are no bearers to move them, and there, right in front of your face, lying in the gutter, is a face, a woman. Her eyes are open, staring at you. She is dead. She has fallen in the street, and no one has picked her up. The hem of her dress is muddy. A rat is sitting on her chest, cleaning its whiskers. You freeze. You are half in the cellar, half in the grave. This is the world you fought to return to. This is your salvation. You look at the rat. It stops cleaning. It looks at you. It does not run. It owns the street. You have a choice. Drop back down into the dark with the wine and the silence, or climb out into the city of the dead. You take a breath of the smoky air. You look at the woman's glassy eyes, and you pull yourself up, out of the hole, onto the cobblestones. You are out. You are free. But as you stand up, shaking, covered in cellar dust, you realize something. The silence out here is louder than the silence below. Because out here, the silence stretches to the horizon. You are the only thing moving in a city of ghosts. You stand there, shivering on the cobblestones. The mud from the street soaks into your boots. The cellar dust coats your skin like a gray powder. You look at the house you just escaped. Your house. The shutters upstairs are still closed, barred from the inside. By you. The shop door is still locked, blocked by the body of the man who died trying to save himself. It looks peaceful. From the outside, it looks like just another silent house in a silent row. No one would know the desperation that happened inside. No one would know about the rat, or the wine, or the fear. It is a tomb, and you are the ghost that crawled out. You turn away. You cannot go back in. You have to move. But where? The street stretches out before you, curving away into the gray mist. It is a canyon of brick and timber. Every door, every single door, has the mark. The red cross, or the white cross, or just a frantic scrawl of chalk. Lord have mercy. God help us. Jesus save us. The prayers are written on the wood, but the wood is rotting. You start to walk. Your legs feel strange. Light. You have been crouching in the dark for so long. Walking feels like flying. But you are not flying. You are wading. Wading through the wreckage of a civilization. You step over a pile of rags. It moves. You jump back. But it is just the wind catching the corner of a cloak. The body underneath does not move. It is stiff, frozen in the final contortion of pain. You walk down the center of the street. Usually, this is the place for the carts, for the horses. Now, it is the only clear path. The gutters are overflowing. Filth, offal, and the rats. They are not hiding anymore. They are not scuttling in the shadows. They are everywhere, sitting on the doorsteps, running along the roof beams, eating the refuse in the street. They watch you pass. They do not fear you. Why should they? They are the new citizens. You are the intruder. You reach the corner, the square where the well stands, the place where you hesitated days ago, where you saw the doctor, where you saw the widow. The square is empty of the living, but it is full of the dead. They are lined up, rows of them, wrapped in sheets, in blankets, in tablecloths. Some are tied with rope. Some are just lying there, waiting for the carts that have stopped coming. Because the cart drivers are dead too, or they have fled. The pile is high, for bodies deep. It blocks the well. You cannot get water, even if you dared to touch the handle now. You stare at the mound. It is colorful. That is the strange thing. Blue tunics, red dresses, yellow hose. Death has not stripped them of their color. It has just piled it all together. A chaotic, tragic mosaic. You recognize a face, or you think you do. The old man, the one who coughed. He is lying near the bottom. His mouth is open, caught in an eternal gasp. You feel a bubble of hysteria rising in your chest. You want to scream. You want to shake him. You did this. You want to yell. You coughed. You started it. But you know that is a lie. It wasn't him. It wasn't the widow. It was the air, the stars, the rats. It was everything. You back away from the square. You turn down a side street, a narrow alley, the shambles, where the butchers used to work. It is usually a place of blood, of animal slaughter. Now, it is silent. The hooks are empty. The chopping blocks are clean. The only meat here is not for sale. You walk faster. You are looking for an exit, a gate, a way out of the walls. You think, if you can just get to the fields, to the open air, maybe the sickness won't follow you there. Maybe the wind blows cleaner in the meadow. It is a child's hope, but it is the only thing moving your feet. You pass a church, St. Mary's. The great wooden doors are wide open. Inside, it is dark, but you see candles, hundreds of them, burning on the floor, on the altar, on the pews. Someone has lit them. A final act of devotion or a plea for mercy. You step closer. You peer into the gloom. The pews are full. People are sitting there, heads bowed, kneeling, praying. For a second, relief washes over you. The living, survivors, gathered in the house of God. You take a step toward the threshold. Help me, you whisper. But then, you stop. You look closer, at the man in the back pew. He is leaning too far forward. His forehead is resting on the wood in front of him. He is not moving. The woman next to him is slumped against his shoulder. Her arm hangs down, swinging slightly in the draft. They are not praying. They are dead. All of them. They came here to pray, to beg for salvation. And the sickness took them right there, in the pews. They died together, in the dark, lit by the holy candles. The church is not a sanctuary. It is a mausoleum. You cover your mouth. You back away. You turn and run. You run through the alley. Your boots slip on the wet stones. You do not look left or right. You just run. Away from the candles. Away from the square. Away from the silence that screams. You run until your lungs burn, until the air rasps in your throat like a file. You are lost in the maze of alleys behind the church. The shambles twist and turn, but you keep the great stone wall of the city on your left. You are following it, hunting for a crack, a hole, a gate that might be unguarded. You reach the west gate. It is a massive archway of grey stone. Usually, it is open. Usually, carts flow through it, bringing vegetables from the farms and wool from the sheep shearing. Now, the great wooden doors are shut, barred with beams as thick as tree trunks, and in front of them stand the guards. 4 of them. They wear leather armor, metal helmets. They hold pikes, long wooden poles with steel tips. They look nervous. Their eyes dart back and forth. They are not guarding the city from an army outside. They are guarding the world from you. You stop in the shadow of a building. You watch. A small group of people has gathered near the gate. A family. A man, a woman, and a child. They are carrying bundles on their backs. They are begging. "Let us out," the man cries. "We are clean. Look." He holds up his hands. He bares his neck. "We have family in the village. We just want to leave." The guard does not lower his pike. "Go back," he shouts. His voice is muffled by a thick scarf wrapped around his face. No one leaves. King's orders. "But we will die here," the woman screams. "Then you die here," the guard says. His voice is flat, emotionless. "If we let you out, you kill the village. You kill the county. You are the sickness." The words hit you like a stone. You are the sickness. To the outside world, to the people in the clean air of the hills, you are not a victim. You are a weapon. You are a rat. And the gate is the trapdoor. You realize, with a crushing weight, that there is no escape. The wall is not protection. It is a quarantine line. The family turns away. Weeping, they walk back into the shadow of the city, back to their fate. You turn away too. You cannot look at the gate anymore. It is a closed eye. You wander along the inside of the wall. The path here is muddy, unpaved. It is the edge of the city, the waste ground. And as you walk, the smell changes. It is not the smell of the closed houses anymore. It is stronger, sweeter, more terrible. It smells of fresh earth and old meat. You hear sounds ahead. Thud, thud, thud. Spades hitting dirt. And a dull, wet, tumbling sound. You round a bend in the wall, and the ground opens up before you. You stop. You cover your mouth with both hands. You are looking at the plague pits. The churchyards are full. The crypts are full. So they have dug trenches. Great, long, deep scars in the earth. They stretch for 100 yards. Men are working there. Diggers. They are stripped to the waist. Their bodies gleam with sweat and grime. They are working fast. Too fast for reverence. They are throwing bodies into the trench. Not placing them. Throwing them. Like sacks of flour. There are no coffins. No shrouds. Just bodies. Naked. Or dressed in rags. They are stacked. Layer upon layer. A layer of bodies. A thin layer of dirt. A layer of bodies. A thin layer of dirt. Like a gruesome lasagna of death. You watch a cart tip its load. 5 bodies slide out. They tumble down the steep earthen bank. Limbs flailing. They land in a tangle at the bottom. A digger steps on a chest to make room. He sprinkles a handful of white powder over them. Lime. Quicklime. To burn the flesh. To stop the smell. To speed the decay. It hisses as it hits the damp skin. This is the end. This is what awaits you. Not a stone with your name on it. Not a prayer said by a priest. But this. The pit. Anonymity. You will be just one more bone in the pile. One more skull in the wall of earth. Your velvet, your silver, your ledger. It all ends here. In the mud. You feel a wave of dizziness. The world spins grey. You stumble back. You cannot watch. You cannot know this. You turn your back on the pits. You walk back toward the houses. Toward the trap. You would rather die behind your barricade, alone in the dark, than end up in that trench. You need a place to hide. A new place. Your house is barred by the dead man. You cannot go back there. You are homeless. A wanderer in your own city. You look at the houses lining the street. Dark. Silent. Marked with crosses. Which one is empty? Which one is safe? You see a door, slightly ajar. No cross on it. Or maybe the rain washed it away. It is a small house. A workman's cottage. You approach it. You push the door. Creak. It opens. You step into the gloom. Hello? You whisper. Silence. You step inside. And you smell it. Not death. Not vinegar. But something else. Smoke. Something is burning. And it is coming from the back room. You follow the smell of smoke. It draws you in. After the damp cold of the street, the promise of fire is irresistible, even if it is dangerous. You walk down a short, narrow hallway. The floor is packed earth, not wood. This is a poorhouse, a laborious cottage. The walls are unplastered wattle and daub. You reach the doorway of the back room. The smoke is thicker here. It hangs in the air like a blue sheet. You cough. You wave your hand to clear a space to see. There is a fire in the hearth, but it is not a normal fire. It is small, chaotic. It is not burning logs. It is burning things. A wooden stool leg, a basket, a pair of old leather shoes. Desperate fuel. Sitting in front of the fire is a chair, and in the chair is a woman. She is old. Her hair is white, thin, falling in wisps around a face that looks like crumpled parchment. She is wrapped in a shawl. She is rocking back and forth, slightly, creak, creak. She is humming, a low, tuneless sound. She does not look up as you enter. She is staring into the flames. You stand in the doorway. You are an intruder, a ghost haunting the living. "Hello?" you say again. Your voice is stronger this time. The woman stops rocking. She turns her head slowly. Her eyes are cloudy, milky with cataracts. She is blind, or nearly so. She sniffs the air. "Doctor," she whispers. Her voice is like dry leaves skittering on stone. "Is that you?" You do not answer. You are not a doctor. You have no cure. "I paid you," she says. "I left the coin on the step." She thinks you are the plague doctor. She thinks you have come to save her, or to certify her death. "I am not the doctor," you say softly. "I am a traveler." "A traveler," she repeats. She smiles. It is a gruesome sight. She has no teeth. "Travelers don't come here," she says. "Only death comes here." She turns back to the fire. She reaches into a pocket in her shawl. She pulls out a handful of dried leaves. "Sage? Mugwort?" She throws them on the fire. Hiss. The smoke billows out, thick and white. It smells sharp, medicinal. "To keep him away," she mutters. "To keep the bad air out." You step closer. You crave the warmth of the fire. You are shivering from the street. But as you get closer, you see it. The shawl has slipped from her shoulder. And there, on the side of her neck, the knot, the bubo. It is huge, purple, pulsing. It looks angry against her pale skin. She has it. She is dying. The fire is not keeping the sickness away. It is just keeping her warm while the sickness finishes her. You freeze. You are standing 3 feet from her, breathing her smoke. You should run. You should go back to the street, back to the pits. But you can't. You are too tired, too cold, and the street is full of horrors you cannot face again. You look around the room. In the corner, there is a ladder, rough wood, leading up to a loft, a sleeping platform under the thatch roof. Heat rises, smoke rises, but maybe, just maybe, the sickness stays down here with her. It is a gamble, a terrible gamble, but you have no other cards to play. "I am going up," you say. She does not answer. She is rocking again, humming her tuneless song. She is lost in the fever dream. You walk past her. You hold your breath. You give the chair a wide berth. You grab the ladder. You climb. 1 rung. 2 rungs. You pull yourself up onto the loft floor. It is dark up here. It smells of old straw and dry thatch. It is warm. The heat from the fire below gathers here. You crawl away from the edge, away from the hole where the ladder comes up. You curl up in the straw. You are hiding in the attic of a dying woman. You are a parasite, a rat in the rafters. But you are warm. Below you, the woman hums. The fire crackles. It sounds almost domestic, almost normal. If you close your eyes, you can imagine you are a guest. That she is your grandmother. That she is cooking stew. That the world outside is safe. But you know the truth. You listen to her humming change. It becomes a mutter, then a moan. Water, she says. Thirsty. You have heard this before. From the widow. From the man in your shop. It is the chorus of the plague. You lie still in the straw. You do not go down. You do not help her. You cannot. If you touch her, you die. So you lie there, and you listen to her die. It takes hours. The fire burns down. The humming stops. The moaning stops. Eventually, the rocking stops. Silence rises from the room below. It drifts up through the ladder hole. It joins you in the loft. She is gone. You are alone again. But this time, you are warm. You sleep. It is the deep, heavy sleep of the guilty. And while you sleep, the fire goes out. The room cools, and the rats, smelling the silence, begin to creep out from the walls below. You wake to the sound of scratching, not in the walls this time, but right next to your ear. Scritch. You open your eyes. A rat is sitting on your chest. It is staring at you. Its whiskers twitch. It is weighing you, deciding if you are meat or furniture. You flinch. The rat squeaks and darts away, disappearing into the dark thatch of the roof. You sit up. Straw falls from your hair. You are in the loft. The air is cold again. The heat from the fire below has dissipated hours ago. It is morning. Another gray, lifeless dawn is filtering through the cracks in the roof. You listen. The cottage is silent. No humming. No rocking chair. No moaning. The silence of the grave. You crawl to the edge of the loft. You peer down through the ladder hole. The room below is dim. The fire in the hearth is a pile of cold, white ash. The chair is still there, and the woman is still in it. She hasn't moved. Her head is tipped back. Her mouth is open. One hand hangs down, grazing the floor. She is gone. You are alone with her corpse, and you are trapped in her attic. To get out, you have to go down there. You have to walk past her. You have to breathe the air she breathed out in her final moments. The air that killed her. You hesitate. You think about staying up here, just lying back in the straw, waiting. But your thirst is a physical pain now. It is a sharp, cracking dryness in your throat, and your stomach is a hollow pit. You cannot stay. You have to run the gauntlet. You take a deep breath of the attic air. You hold it. You swing your legs onto the ladder. You climb down. 1 rung. 2 rungs. You hit the dirt floor. You keep your eyes on the door. You do not look at the chair. You do not look at the purple swelling on her neck. You walk quickly. past the hearth, past the dead fire. But then you spot something. On the table, a small, hard heel of bread, and a clay cup. It has water in it. Stale, old, but water. You stop. The woman is 5 feet away. The bread is 2 feet away. Is it worth it? Did she touch it? Did she breathe on it? The thirst makes the decision for you. You grab the cup. You down it in one gulp. It tastes of dust and smoke, but it is wet. You grab the bread. You shove it in your pocket. You do not eat it yet. You want to get out. You reach the door. You fumble with the latch. It sticks. You pull. Creak. It opens. You stumble out into the street. You suck in the cold morning air. You cough. Expel the air from the cottage. You are out. You wipe your mouth with your sleeve. You feel dirty. You feel like a thief, stealing water from the dead. But you are alive. You walk away from the cottage. You do not look back. You eat the bread as you walk. It is hard as a stone. You have to gnaw it, but it settles your stomach. You look around. Where are you? You are lost in the poor quarter. The alleys are narrow here, crooked. The houses lean together, touching at the roofs, blocking out the sky. The street is a river of mud and bodies. There are more of them today, many more. They are not even wrapped anymore, just people, fallen where they stood. A man lying in a doorway, a woman curled up by a rain barrel, a child sitting against a wall, looking like he is asleep. But he is not asleep. You step over them. You are getting used to it. That is the most terrifying thing. Yesterday, you wept for the neighbor. Today, you step over a stranger without breaking stride. Your heart is hardening, turning into stone. Just like the city, you need a destination. Aimless wandering is dangerous. It wastes energy. You think of the river, the Thames. It is wide, open. The air moves there. Maybe you can find a boat. Maybe you can float away, down to the sea, away from the island of death. It is a foolish dream, but it is a direction. You turn south, toward the water. You walk past a bakery. The door is smashed in, looted. Flour is spilled on the street. White dust, mixing with the mud. It looks like snow. You see footprints in the flour, boot prints, and paw prints. Rats, always rats. You turn a corner, and you stop. The street ahead is blocked, not by bodies, but by a fire. A huge, roaring bonfire, right in the middle of the road. People are gathered around it. Living people. They are throwing things into the flames. Furniture, clothes, books. They are burning a house, trying to burn the sickness out. You watch the flames lick up the timber frame. The heat hits your face. It feels good, but the smell is terrible. Burning wool, burning wood, and something else. Burning hair. Are there bodies in there? Or just memories? You do not stay to find out. You turn back. You find another alley. You are a rat in a maze, trying to find a way out. But every turn leads to more silence, more crosses, more death. And then you hear it. A sound that stops you cold. A sound you haven't heard in weeks. A laugh. A loud, raucous, drunken laugh, coming from a tavern ahead. The door is open. Light spills out. And noise. People are inside. They are drinking, singing. Have they gone mad? Or have they just given up? You stand outside the tavern door. The sign above creaks in the wind. The Red Lion. But the paint is peeling. The lion looks more like a flayed dog. The noise inside is a physical force. Shouting, stomping, the clatter of dice. And that laugh again. It is not a happy sound. It is a jagged, sharp sound. The sound of someone who has stopped caring. You push the door open. Bang! It hits the wall. You step inside. The air hits you like a fist. It is hot, sweaty. It smells of sour ale and unwashed bodies and roasting meat. Meat? Yes. A pig is turning on a spit in the great hearth. Where did they get a pig? Did they slaughter it in the street? Did they steal it? It doesn't matter. The smell of fat and smoke makes your mouth water. It makes your stomach cramp with hunger. You look around the room. It is packed, shoulder to shoulder. The social order of the city, the rigid lines between rich and poor, has collapsed. You see a merchant in a velvet doublet, sitting next to a beggar in rags. They are sharing a jug of wine. You see a priest, his collar undone, throwing dice with a soldier. They are gambling, but not for money. Money is worthless here. They are gambling for a pair of boots, for a loaf of bread, for a silver ring taken from a corpse. Everyone is drunk, wildly, desperately drunk. They are drinking to forget the carts, to forget the silence outside. They are following the new philosophy. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. It is a party at the end of the world. No one looks at you as you enter. You are just another ghost, looking for a seat at the wake. You squeeze through the crowd. You try not to touch anyone, but it is impossible. Shoulders brush, hands graze, breath mingles. You hold your breath. You know this is suicide. This room is a breeding ground, a factory for the pestilence. But the pull of the life, the noise, the heat is too strong. You reach the bar. The innkeeper is there. He is a massive man, red-faced, sweating. He is pouring ale as fast as he can. He doesn't ask for coin. He just points to a barrel. "Drink," he roars, "before the devil takes it." You grab a tankard. It is sticky. You don't care. You dip it into the barrel. You drink. It is ale. Heavy. Malty. It tastes like liquid bread. It hits your empty stomach hard. You feel a rush of warmth, a buzzing in your head. You turn to look at the room. In the corner, a fiddler is playing. A frantic, fast tune. People are dancing. Not the slow, stately dances of the court, but a wild, stomping, chaotic jig. They are spinning, jumping, laughing. A woman spins past you. Her face is flushed. Her eyes are bright. Too bright. Is it the wine or the fever? She grabs your arm. "Dance," she screams. "Dance with me." Her grip is strong, hot. You pull away. "No," you stammer. "Coward," she laughs. She spins away. She crashes into a table. She laughs again, but then she coughs. It is not a normal cough. It is a wet, deep rattle. She doubles over. She vomits onto the floor. Blood. Black, clotted blood. The music stops. The laughter stops. The room goes silent. Instantly, everyone stares at her. She wipes her mouth. She looks at her hand. It is red. She looks at the crowd. Her eyes go wide. The manic joy vanishes, replaced by sheer terror. "No," she whispers. "Not me." The crowd backs away, like a tide going out. They press against the walls, creating a circle of empty space around her. "Get her out," someone shouts. "Throw her out." The merchant grabs a stool. He holds it like a weapon. "Out," he screams. "You'll kill us all." The irony is lost on him. They are already killing each other, just by being here. Two men grab the woman. They do not grapple her gently. They drag her. She screams, "No, please, I just wanted to dance." They drag her to the door. They throw her out into the mud. They slam the door. Bang! Someone slides the bolt. The room is quiet for a second. Heavy. Breathing. Then, the innkeeper slams his fist on the bar. "Music," he bellows. "Play, damn you." The fiddler starts again. Shaky at first. Then faster. The crowd turns back to their drinks. They laugh. But the laughter is thinner now. More brittle. They are trying to pretend they didn't just see their own future. You stare at the door. You can hear the woman pounding on it from the outside. Thud. 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 "Let me in." You put down your tankard. The ale tastes like bile now. You cannot stay here. This is not life. This is just a waiting room for hell. You push your way through the crowd, back toward the door. "Leaving so soon," the priest slurs. "The night is young." "The night is dead," you whisper. You reach the door. You slide the bolt. You open it. The woman is lying on the step, curled in a ball, sobbing. You step over her. "I'm sorry," you say again. It is your mantra now. You walk out into the night. The cold air hits your flushed face. The silence of the street rushes back to claim you. You walk, away from the tavern, away from the light. You are drunk. You are tired. And you have nowhere to go. You look up at the sky. The clouds have parted. The moon is visible. A pale, white eye. It looks indifferent. You wonder if God is looking down too, or if he has turned his face away. You keep walking, toward the river, toward the end of the land. But then, you hear footsteps behind you. Clack, clack, clack. Someone is following you. You stop. You turn slowly. The ale buzzes in your head, making the world tilt. The street behind you is dark. The only light comes from the open door of the tavern, 50 feet away. A long, yellow rectangle on the mud. Standing in that light is a figure. It is a man. He is ragged, thin. He holds something in his hand. A knife? A stone? He takes a step toward you. Clack. "Master," he hisses. His voice is wet, desperate. "Spare a coin? For a dying man." He is not a robber. Not really. He is just a ghost, haunting the streets for scraps. But you have no coin. You have nothing but the clothes on your back, and the hard heel of bread in your pocket. And the fear. "I have nothing," you say. Your voice sounds loud in the silence. "Liar," he snarls. He steps closer. He raises his hand. It is a knife. A small, rusty paring knife. You have boots, he says. Good leather. He wants your boots. He is willing to kill you for them. Because boots are worth more than life now. You back away. Stay back, you warn. I am sick. I have the marks. It is a lie, but it is the best shield you have. The man hesitates. He squints at you, searching for the swellings. Show me, he challenges. You do not show him. You run. You spin around and sprint into the dark. Your boots slap against the wet stones. You hear him shout, a curse, but he does not follow. He is too weak, or too afraid. You run until your breath comes in ragged gasps. You turn corners blindly. Left, right, left again. The streets get narrower, darker. The smell changes. The sweet stench of the pits fades, replaced by something sharper. Salt, tar, dead fish, the river. You have reached the Thames. You stumble out of an alley and onto the wooden planks of a wharf. The city stops here. The wall of houses ends. And before you, the world opens up. The river is vast, black. It moves silently, a massive, oily muscle, sliding out to sea. The moon reflects off the surface. A broken, shivering column of white light. You walk to the edge of the pier. You grab a piling to steady yourself. The wood is slick with algae. You look out at the water. You expected freedom. You expected open air. But the river is just another graveyard. Ships are anchored there, dozens of them. Cogs, barges, fishing boats. They sit low in the water. There are no lights on board, no lanterns swinging from the masts, no sailors calling out the watch. They are death ships, crews that died at anchor, or ships that were turned away from every port, forced to drift until the last man fell. You can hear the rigging creaking in the wind. Creak, creak. It sounds like a forest of dead trees. You see a small boat, a wherry, tied to the pier below you. It bobs gently. It is empty. For a second, the idea seizes you. Take the boat. Cut the rope. Drift. Let the current take you away. Past the tower. Past the marshes. Out to the grey ocean. You could die clean. Under the stars. With the salt spray on your face. You climb down the ladder. The rungs are slippery. You drop into the boat. It rocks violently. You scramble for the oars. You find them. Heavy. Ash wood. You sit on the bench. You reach for the knife in your belt to cut the rope. But you don't have a knife. You left it in the shop or the cellar. You pull at the knot. It is wet, tight, swollen with river water. You claw at it with your fingernails. You pull. You tear. It does not give. You struggle for minutes, panting, crying. The ale in your blood turns to lead. Your strength, the false strength of the drink, evaporates. You collapse on the bench, defeated by a knot. You lie there, looking up at the sky. The boat rocks you, gentle, rhythmic, like a cradle. You close your eyes. You listen to the water lapping against the hull. Slap, slap, slap. It is the same sound as the well, as the bucket. There is no escape. The knot holds you to the city. just as your lungs hold you to the air. You are part of this place. You belong to the plague. You lie in the boat for a long time. The cold river damp soaks into your clothes. You start to shiver. Violently. Your teeth chatter. Is it the cold? Or is it starting? You feel a dull ache in your lower back, and a heat rising in your chest. Not the warmth of the ale, but a dry, scratching heat. You touch your forehead. It is burning. You laugh. A soft, broken sound. So this is it. The river didn't save you. The vinegar didn't save you. The silence didn't save you. It was always going to end this way. You sit up. You look at the city, looming above you, a dark, jagged silhouette against the night sky. It looks like a beast, a sleeping dragon, and you are in its mouth. You have a choice. Stay in the boat, freeze, die alone on the water, or go back. Go back to the warmth, even if it is the warmth of a dying fire. Even if it is the warmth of a crowded room. You do not want to die alone. Not here. Not in the cold. You want to be with your own kind. You climb back up the ladder. It is harder this time. Your limbs feel heavy, clumsy. You stumble onto the pier. You turn your back on the river. And you walk back into the maze. Back toward the Red Lion. Or maybe, back toward home. You do not know where you are going. You are just a moth, looking for a flame. Any flame, before the darkness takes you completely. The walk back is a blur. The city has changed again. It is no longer a place of wood and stone. In your fever, it has become a living thing. The houses lean over you. Their timber frames look like ribs. Their windows look like empty eye sockets. The cobblestones, usually hard and uneven, feel soft beneath your boots, like you are walking on flesh or mud. You stumble. Your balance is gone. The ground rushes up to meet you. Thud. You catch yourself on a wall. The stone is rough against your cheek. It feels cool. You want to stay there. Just lean against the wall. Close your eyes. And sleep. But a voice inside you, a small, stubborn voice, tells you to keep moving. Not here, it whispers. Not in the gutter. Find the fire. You push yourself off the wall. You are navigating by instinct now. Like a pigeon finding its roost. You turn a corner. And there it is. The Red Lion. But the light is gone. The door is shut. Barred from the inside. The shouting, the singing, the desperate laughter has stopped. The party is over. Did they run out of ale? Did the sickness take them all? Or did they just pass out into a drunken oblivion? You stumble to the door. You pound on it weakly. Thump, thump. Let me in, you croak. But no one answers. The tavern is just another tomb now. You slide down the doorframe. You sit on the step. The same step where the woman lay earlier. She is gone, crawled away to die in the shadows, or taken by the cart. You are sitting in her place, the heir to her misery. You wrap your arms around your knees. You are shivering so hard your teeth clack together. Click, click, click. It sounds like dice, like the skeleton's flute. The heat in your chest is a furnace now, but your skin feels like ice. You touch your neck. You have to know. The ritual. The final check. Your hand shakes. You press your fingers. into the soft hollow behind your ear. And you find it. The knot. It is there. Hard. Round. Like a marble under the skin. It throbs against your fingertips, pulsing with your heartbeat. A second heart, growing in your neck. A heart of poison. You let out a breath. It is a strange sound. Not a scream. Not a sob. But a sigh. Of relief? Yes. Almost. The waiting is over. The fear, which has been your constant companion for weeks, suddenly evaporates. The sentinel has left his post. The enemy is inside the gates. There is nothing left to defend. You close your eyes. You lean your head back against the wood of the door. You feel light, floaty. The pain is there, a dull, grinding ache in your bones, but it feels distant, like it is happening to someone else. You open your eyes. The street is swirling. Mist is rising from the ground. Shapes are moving in the mist. Are they rats? Or are they the dancers? You see a figure standing in the middle of the road. Tall, wearing a grey shroud. He is holding a hand out to you. Come, he seems to say. The dance is starting. You smile. A cracked, dry smile. I don't know the steps, you whisper. It doesn't matter, the figure seems to answer. Everyone knows the steps. You try to stand up, to join him, but your legs won't work. They are dead weight. You are anchored to the step. So you watch. The mist thickens. It covers the cobbles. It covers the refuse. It turns the ugly, broken city into something soft, something dreamlike. You are drifting. The pain is fading. The cold is fading. There is only the grey and the rhythm. Thump, 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 thump. The heartbeat of the pestilence. It is slowing down. You are tired. So very tired. You let your head fall forward onto your chest. You rest. Just for a moment. Just until the song ends. But then, you feel something. Heat. Real heat. Not the fever. External heat. Someone is near you. Someone alive. You force your heavy eyelids open. A light is shining in your face. Yellow. Bright. A lantern. Held by a hand in a thick leather glove. A face looms over you. Not a skull. Not a bird mask. A human face. A woman. She is old. Her face is lined with dirt. She wears rags. She looks like a beggar. Or a saint. She leans in close. She does not recoil from your breath. She does not fear the knot on your neck. She puts a hand on your forehead. Her hand is rough, calloused, but it is warm. Poor soul, she whispers. The fire is out. She is not talking about the bonfire. She is talking about you. She reaches into her bag. She pulls out a flask. She uncorks it. She holds it to your lips. Drink, she says. It won't save you, but it will help. You open your mouth. Liquid flows in. Sweet, herbal, honey, and poppy. The black drop. Laudanum. A mercy. You swallow. The sweetness coats your throat. The woman strokes your hair. It is the first tender touch you have felt in forever. Sleep now, she says. The cart will come soon. But not yet. Rest. She stands up. She takes the light with her. But the warmth remains. The poppy enters your blood. It mixes with the poison, and it wins. The gray mist turns to gold. The pain dissolves completely. The fear is gone. The city is gone. There is only silence. Beautiful, perfect silence. And you are finally safe. The walk back is a blur. The city has changed again. It is no longer a place of wood and stone. In your fever, it has become a living thing. The houses lean over you. Their timber frames look like ribs. Their windows look like empty eye sockets. The cobblestones, usually hard and uneven, feel soft beneath your boots, like you are walking on flesh or mud. You stumble. Your balance is gone. The ground rushes up to meet you. Thud. You catch yourself on a wall. The stone is rough against your cheek. It feels cool. You want to stay there. Just lean against the wall. Close your eyes and sleep. But a voice inside you, a small, stubborn voice, tells you to keep moving. Not here, it whispers. Not in the gutter. Find the fire. You push yourself off the wall. You are navigating by instinct now, like a pigeon finding its roost. You turn a corner, and there it is, the red lion. But the light is gone. The door is shut, barred from the inside. The shouting, the singing, the desperate laughter has stopped. The party is over. Did they run out of ale? Did the sickness take them all? Or did they just pass out into a drunken oblivion? You stumble to the door. You pound on it weakly. Thump, thump. Let me in, you croak. But no one answers. The tavern is just another tomb now. You slide down the doorframe. You sit on the step. The same step where the woman lay earlier. She is gone, crawled away to die in the shadows, or taken by the cart. You are sitting in her place, the heir to her misery. You wrap your arms around your knees. You are shivering so hard your teeth clack together. Click, click, click. It sounds like dice, like the skeleton's flute. The heat in your chest is a furnace now, but your skin feels like ice. You touch your neck. You have to know. The ritual. The final check. Your hand shakes. You press your fingers into the soft hollow behind your ear. And you find it. The knot. It is there. Hard. Round. Like a marble under the skin. It throbs against your fingertips, pulsing with your heartbeat. A second heart growing in your neck. A heart of poison. You let out a breath. It is a strange sound. Not a scream. Not a sob. But a sigh. Of relief? Yes. Almost. The waiting is over. The fear, which has been your constant companion for weeks, suddenly evaporates. The sentinel has left his post. The enemy is inside the gates. There is nothing left to defend. You close your eyes. You lean your head back against the wood of the door. You feel light, floaty. The pain is there, a dull, grinding ache in your bones, but it feels distant, like it is happening to someone else. You open your eyes. The street is swirling. Mist is rising from the ground. Shapes are moving in the mist. Are they rats? Or are they the dancers? You see a figure standing in the middle of the road. Tall, wearing a grey shroud. He is holding a hand out to you. Come, he seems to say. The dance is starting. You smile. A cracked, dry smile. I don't know the steps, you whisper. It doesn't matter, the figure seems to answer. Everyone knows the steps. You try to stand up, to join him, but your legs won't work. They are dead weight. You are anchored to the step. So you watch. The mist thickens. It covers the cobbles. It covers the refuse. It turns the ugly, broken city into something soft, something dreamlike. You are drifting. The pain is fading. The cold is fading. There is only the gray and the rhythm. Thump, 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 thump. The heartbeat of the pestilence. It is slowing down. You are tired, so very tired. You let your head fall forward onto your chest. You rest, just for a moment, just until the song ends. But then, you feel something. Heat, real heat, not the fever. External heat. Someone is near you, someone alive. You force your heavy eyelids open. A light is shining in your face. Yellow, bright. A lantern, held by a hand in a thick leather glove. A face looms over you. Not a skull. Not a bird mask. A human face. A woman. She is old. Her face is lined with dirt. She wears rags. She looks like a beggar. Or a saint. She leans in close. She does not recoil from your breath. She does not fear the knot on your neck. She puts a hand on your forehead. Her hand is rough, calloused, but it is warm. Poor soul, she whispers. The fire is out. She is not talking about the bonfire. She is talking about you. She reaches into her bag. She pulls out a flask. She uncorks it. She holds it to your lips. Drink, she says. It won't save you, but it will help. You open your mouth. Liquid flows in. Sweet, herbal, honey, and poppy. The black drop. Laudanum. A mercy. You swallow. The sweetness coats your throat. The woman strokes your hair. It is the first tender touch you have felt in forever. Sleep now, she says. The cart will come soon. But not yet. Rest. She stands up. She takes the light with her. But the warmth remains. The poppy enters your blood. It mixes with the poison. And it wins. The grey mist turns to gold. The pain dissolves completely. The fear is gone. The city is gone. There is only silence. Beautiful, perfect silence. And you are finally safe. The cart stops. The rocking motion ceases. You open your eyes one last time. You are no longer in the narrow streets. You are under a vast, open sky. The air here is different. It does not smell of smoke or vinegar. It smells of damp soil, rich and deep. You hear the wind moving through grass. A soft, rushing sound. Shush, shush. It sounds like a mother hushing a child. The driver is climbing down. You hear his heavy boots on the soft ground. He comes to the back of the cart. He lowers the tailgate. Creak. He lifts you up. You do not feel his hands. You feel weightless, like you are made of mist. He carries you a few steps. He lays you down, not on wood, not on stone, but on the earth. It is cool against your back. It feels solid, permanent. You are lying on the edge of the world. You turn your head slightly. You see others, sleeping in rows, covered in a light dusting of white lime. It looks like snow, a gentle, winter snow that has fallen over the weary. They are not moving. They are not crying. They are at peace. The fear, the terrible, grinding fear of the last weeks, is gone. There are no rats here. There are no doors to bar. There are no bells to ring. There is only the quiet. You look up at the stars. They are blurring now, running together into streaks of silver light. The dance you saw in your dream, the rattling bones, the grinning skeletons, they are gone too. There is no dance. There is just rest. You feel your breath slowing down. In. A long pause. Out. It is not a struggle anymore. It is a release. You think of your shop. The bolts of blue velvet. The red wool. They seem so small now. So unimportant. Dust in a closed room. You think of the widow. You hope she found water. You hope she found this quiet place too. You close your eyes. The darkness behind your eyelids is not scary. It is warm. It is a blanket. You let yourself sink into it. Deeper and deeper. The sound of the wind fades. The sound of your own heart, thud, thud, becomes faint, like a drum beating miles away. And then, silence. Absolute, eternal, silence. And that is where we leave him, in the quiet of the earth. The Black Death would continue to rage across Europe for another year. It would take the rich and the poor, the priest and the sinner. It would empty the cities and silence the villages. But eventually, the bells would ring again. The grass would grow over the pits. The survivors would open their doors. They would burn the vinegar rags. They would marry. They would build. They would forget. The shop would be opened by a new merchant. The velvet would be sold. The life of the city would return, noisy and chaotic as ever. But for the millions who slept, like our merchant, the world simply stopped. They found the only cure for the pestilence: rest. Thank you for taking this journey into the shadows of 1348. It was a dark road, but we walked it together. If this story of silence and endurance helped you find your own peace tonight, please consider liking the video and subscribing. It helps the channel more than you know. And now, the cart has stopped. The journey is over. You are safe. You are warm. You can let go. Sleep well.